Live at 11:00 p.m. Central Time. That basically means midnight Eastern Time, 9 o'clock California time, Pacific, and we have 6 a.m. Prague time. So let's see if I'm coming up live yet. It says it's streaming, so let's see. Message. Exclusive invitation for franchise enthusiasts. Here we go. I got the message now. Delayed, but I got it. Okay, cool. So the warm up period is over. So now let's cool down for this Saturday night. So first things first. This time, no more Sam Adams. Winter Ale was good, but as I said last time, best is the best. Want to start at 9 p.m. today, but had a little work to finish and was hungry after all day, so I had some hot cream of chicken soup and had to get the lighting set up and the cameras and everything else, but I'm ready to go. So, cheers. Look at that foam, man. This is amazing. I love this. Let's try with the autofocus. What is it going to do? Is it going to focus on the glass? Still testing the camera. Yep, we got the bubbles. We got the foam. The glasses are always, they got a glare. They always have a hard time focusing. All right, we're ready to start. How's that? There we go. Back to regular Zoom. Ooh, one person. And don't follow me. There we go, right on target. And no following me now. This camera is AI stuff. I mean, you gotta love it. It's amazing. What do we have? Next message. Oh, post that mentioned me. You gotta love those. People mention you in the post, and oh, see, now we're back to a group of people. Let's see how a group of people will do. Ooh, group of people. Not doing that good. Let's see if I'm supposed to be hearing myself even. I don't know. No, yes, I get this down now. Ooh, group of people. Not doing that good. No, Freya, that wasn't for a group of people. That was a group of people on my camera. I got these three icons. It's a group of people. Follow the person, or just let us be. Um, so anyway, so that's why that was the camera setting. But welcome, Freya. I guess you're on the African coast or on the African continent. You're up already too, so you probably got like 6 o'clock in the morning. Actually shows those dots. Now it's yeah. Wow. Okay. Cool. So here we go. What am I going to start my talkathon today with? Well, let's start here. For me, being a non-religious or non-religion loving person, I am a spiritually, deeply spiritual um, atheist, but agnostic atheist or something, whatever. I mean, there's all sorts of names for everything. But you know, I grew up in Czech Republic, and I like Christmas. So, oh, you can't like Christmas because you don't go to church. So what? Who cares? I like Christmas anyway, and yeah, that's everybody celebrates something else. So happy holidays, and tomorrow is the start of Advent, so which is the Christmas season. Thanksgiving is over. Great. How much food did you eat? Me and my son ate a lot of food. I have a bunch of topics prepared for today, but I'll go through them one by one. Eventually, I'll get to them. But today is the start of the spiritual season of Advent for the Christians. 7 a.m. in Africa. Okay, so that's wow, that's another hour ahead. Czech Republic is the Central European time is at 6, so you're basically on the east coast of African time or something like that. But yeah, cool. Well, the time zones don't really go straight, going all the way down. So I figured I'll start the party because for me, in my time now, it's only like 1 hour left for 53 minutes before the start of Advent. So let's see what we got. How many spiritual people we have, and how was the Thanksgiving? Let me know in the comments. There's 4 people following, 3 people following. Now it's jumping up and down. I could stream the chat even in here. Let's see if it's overlay. And do they go? Yes. I don't want to hide it. I want to keep it on there because the chat overlay sees who's commenting and who's not, and I can see it over here. So I could leave it for a while and turn it off in a bit and turn it back on. But anyway, I got Freya here in the chat. Let's hide it, and then when people start commenting, I'll add more stuff to it. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. A lot of stuff. On LinkedIn, I've been watching a lot of stuff. A lot of people complaining, and a lot of people not knowing what to do now. Many people quit LinkedIn. Had a bunch of discussions with people. Some people use Voodoo to get their LinkedIn going. Oh, a lot of stuff. Let me turn on LinkedIn here. I'm going to send one message to take care of that, and then I'll go back to my topics. One of the topics is actually about our Thanksgiving because me and my son spent Thanksgiving doing a movie marathon, and we just ate turkey, hung out at the hotel room, ate turkey, had the mashed potatoes, had our cranberry and gravy and the tiramisu. Just didn't get out of bed and watched movies all afternoon. It was a 10-hour movie marathon. Yeah, so I guess I'm just like kind of a marathon man, runner, whatever. But yeah, funny enough because yes, that's one of the movies we watched. Uh, let me see. Where am I? Just gotta find this. There we go. Here we go. Yeah, this thing always generates a different link. Okay, so link sent. But yes, we watched a marathon. We started off doing this on. I don't know if you've seen it. I don't know if you got in came into contact with it, but it's a new movie called Apocalypse Z. It's made by a Spanish production group, and I must say it's a. Me and my son have a favorite. We have our Night of the Living Dead, and Romero was the starter for all the zombie movies, and so that was pretty exciting. And we started off with a zombie movie. You know, what better way to start a Thanksgiving and kick off the Christmas season than with a zombie movie? Movie's Apocalypse Z, the beginning of the end, and it's kind of a seems like a slow movie, but it's got a good twist to it, and it kind of keeps you hanging. It's like a cliffhanger type of thing. Some of it was predictable, but not everything, and it had nice little stories in between. As the story slowly developed, it was a modern movie with people, you know, reflecting even on COVID and stuff. So it's kind of current events, and yeah, we liked the movie. It was a very good movie, and so then I listened to a podcast this week, and I don't really listen to podcasts same way as I said I don't read newsletters, but there are a few that I do listen to, and I'm very careful about who I'm suggesting and who I'm listening to, where I spend my time because I don't have a lot of it. But but yeah, we did try to see what changes with this. So I listened to Bill Maher and William Shatner, the podcast that everybody was talking about. And I saw that, I was like, oh, Spotify offered it to me, and I was like, yeah, I'm a Star Trek guy, so I like William Shatner. So I listened to the podcast, and it recommended another movie to me, and that was a Demi Moore movie called The Substance. So that was movie number 2. Had to get the free 1 week trial of Mubi for that because it's on Amazon Prime, but they still promote Mubi through it. And the movie was quite amazing, and the camera work on it was quite incredible. I mean, the way the movie was made, and I highly recommend it, especially for people that are involved in video. I mean, that is an excellent learning movie. Like you will really learn a lot by uh, by watching that, and the way the camera was used to highlight certain scenes and certain things, and excellent, 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 excellent. So we start off with 2 very tough movies. Then movie number 3 was it was, there we go, zoom in, zoom, and go in. You can only go one way. You can't go a second way. Group of people, target, and target. And then we zoom back in. So the next movie was Night at the Roxbury, our favorite Hadaway movie. It's based on Saturday Night Live. Funny enough, today's Saturday, so I'm live. But yeah, it was Night at the Roxbury is a pretty cool movie. I sort of reminds me of the '90s clubbing and going out for 3 days straight. So cheers to that. Meeting everybody in the music business possible. Not liking. Wow. I drink out of a mug and zoomed in again. Let me zoom out. I guess he wants a detail of the beer. Can we just get a normal camera without an eye? Anyway, so we got into the Night of the Roxbury. We love it. It's a funny movie. Hadaway song. What do you love? So we finished that movie. Not all the way to the end, but 2/3 of them. You move the hand and you go out and go in, go out, in and out. I hate this. There we go. And focuses in. So, Night of Roxbury, we didn't finish because we know it by heart. So, it was just as a reminder, just a few of the funny moments in the beginning, first, a little bit more than a half the movie. And then we went down memory lane, and my son never saw it, I don't believe, and he doesn't know the skit either. But it was Wayne's World with Mike Myers and Dana Carvey, and some of the jokes you won't. It was interesting watching my son watch that movie because some of the jokes he just doesn't get, Scooby Doo ending and all sorts of stuff, but some of it he does get, and it was a fun. That's to me, it's still a funny movie, and I haven't seen it in years and years and years. I gotta watch out for my finger because I'm gonna start zooming in. I don't want to do that, but yeah, definitely an awesome, awesome movie. Then I forget if that was the point where we started talking about started browsing through movies, and we kind of said, ran up against the movie also called American Beauty. I don't know how many of you know that, but that's a classic. And I don't think that was the time. I think the next one I want to show him was an old classic, and came up to Marathon Man with Dustin Hoffman, and that is an amazing movie. Going back a couple of years now that I've seen it, also, that's a real hit. So we enjoyed that quite a bit, and then I said, something to close it off on, and yeah, we watched the last movie. Well, we watched the Giants game in between too for a little bit, but it was well, I think it was 13-10 halftime, and I was like, yeah, now comes the second half. So the final was 27-10. So I was like, nah, I'm not gonna bother with that. After 13-0, to watching just a couple of the plays towards the end of the second half, and I was like, I watched the turducken, and we went off to watch Marathon Man, and then as soon as we finished that, we went to well, it was by then it was like, I think we started with the night at Roxbury at the time because it was like whatever time, it was 4 o'clock, but we ended up after midnight, so it must have been like that. But anyway, so we went back to watching the movies. Marathon Man, an excellent movie, and then to close it off, I was like, no, if we're gonna be watching American Beauty, you're probably not gonna get any sleep because that's a very deep thought movie, and so I was like, no, I'm gonna spare you, save it for another time. And we watched the 3 Days of Condor with Robert Redford. Now, there is an amazing movie. I'm rambling on and have only one viewer, which is probably me on my monitoring phone. But anyway, the Robert Redford, uh, an amazing actor, and I was surprised to see that he's still alive. I was like, wow. And then he's like 88 years old now, and I have him in a category of Steve McQueen, Paul Newman, and Robert Redford. And then I told my son, I says, but this is a person. I'm still happy he's alive. Wish him all well, and hopefully he'll be here for more years to come because the universe would be worse off if he should disappear. But once he passes, and the time will come. But I told my son, I says, check out his IMDb score of movies and the scores of the movies. And he went down the movie list, and I think only two movies were like below seven. Otherwise, all his movies are 7.5, 8.5. It's just high rated movies. So we watched the 3 Days of Condor, and by then I went out to sleep before the end of that movie. And my son finished it, and then he was how he enjoyed it and stuff. And so that was our Thanksgiving, and now starts the season of Advent. And the first Advent Sunday comes in 41 minutes now for me. For Africa, it's already here. For other places, it's like New Year's. It's kind of like comes in and out. And so we'll see, but we're still 40 minutes away from Advent. However, stuff that we talked about, stuff that happened on LinkedIn, let's talk about that this week. That was quite interesting too. Saw a couple of posts. I talked about some of them, and then I also saw a bunch of comments and people giving advice on how to increase your organic reach on LinkedIn and stuff. And one of the biggest things that happened to me on LinkedIn this week, actually. It was a big story for me because everybody talks about how LinkedIn now cut down reach. Everybody talks about how how everybody's losing organic reach and everything else. I talked about that somewhat last week as well. And what happened was now, and I said, I don't care. I'm just going to keep growing and doing my business and posting and engaging. I think this week is the least engagement I've done in a year, probably, or since I started, so since last December. But I said I showed that last time. I was like, this is. Oh no, I showed that on Friday. I was showing that how many posts I've created and stuff, and I was engaging. I had 100 comments by Thursday, and as of today, we could look at that. But first, I'm going to open marketing. Actually, I'm going to do this here. If I go, I'm going to do a screen share. Here, screen share. We're going to screen window, and it's going to be this. No, a tab. That's the one I was looking at. So share, and I'm going to go here, and this is my worst week in commenting and everything. It's 7 posts, 31 comments on a Saturday late night. So that's bad for me. Let's see what we have as updates. Yep, comment that you were tagged in. But I'll go back to this, and I want to take a look at the statistics of my last long stream event, but I guess I'm not going to get to see that here. For whatever reason, LinkedIn, no, here, it's under the impressions. How many impressions did the last video get? It's disappeared. Let's have fun creating. That was 193. That was my Friday's webinar. That was pretty good too. That worked out well. But I'm looking, let's do last 2 weeks. And let's look at the numbers on the last Saturday's marathon. And last Saturday night freestyle stream, that's what I called it. Had 182 impressions, 19 comments. And if we go into, I'm playing this here now. I don't want to. I'm just trying to get into the numbers, but that's not working. So I'm going to have to go to my profile. This is the one thing I don't like about LinkedIn, is because it's so hard to get back to the previous stuff that you've done. This is the post that was thing, and here's the analytics of the event. There we go. Finally got to it, but it's just a long way to get to these things. Hey, Freya, keep working on that spreadsheet, because just as I'm doing, I'm sort of working and drinking beer. And I know it's early for you in the morning, Freya, but are you having a happy coffee or something like that, or just a non-alcoholic Saturday morning or Sunday morning? So in the end, the video got 182 impressions, 67 members reached, 90 video views, 56 lifetime unique viewers. So if nothing else, 56 people got to know that I was there, and peak this is not going to change, and 687 minutes viewed, which is not too bad for a video that had, what was it, 2 hours, 120 and 45, 165 minutes long. That means roughly 3 or 4 people watched the whole thing, something like that. And, I don't do these often, so, I do them now every week, but I haven't been doing them for long enough to either catch on or to become regular or something like that. But that was the one thing. And then I'm going to switch this. I'm going to stay in this window, and I'm going to do a LinkedIn SSI. So I think that stream helped a lot, because after that stream, I really didn't post. I didn't comment. And this is what happened to me. I got into the 1% of industry SSI rank, which is pretty amazing because that's as high as you can go. And that's despite me slowing down and talking. But I comment more strategically now. But this, I don't know, your social selling index, the SSI score, it's not precise in everything, but it does the job. It gives you some numbers that you to go by. So, in my network, I'm in the 15% overall, and all of we talked about that last week, and I talk about it quite regularly. That in on LinkedIn, most people are not active, so the 1% of active people is. But I'm in the industry's 1%, which is digital marketing and stuff. So that's a pretty good success. And yeah, so score 61. This one fluctuates quite a bit because it's establish a professional brand, find the right people. 1018. I don't know why this is not going up because I have like a good group of really active people. But these numbers do go up if you buy the Sales Navigator, of course. So again, it's driven by finances. But anyway, this is my thing. I'm gonna actually write a post about this, the 1% and how happy I am, and blah blah blah. But I'm not really. I mean, it's just interesting that I achieved it when I said I'm gonna slow down and I'm gonna start doing a little bit more Twitter. So that to me was a surprise. But what I have to do now is we're gonna take a little beer break because I'm going. Let me see. Add a scene. Do the countdown. Mike is muted when we have go get your beer break. And now is go pour your beer break. And then I'm thinking maybe, oh, is it breaking down now finally? No, yes. Oh, who knows? And so I'm pouring a beer. Oh, it's because it went out because of I'm watching my monitor and it disappeared. It was a circle spinning and anyway. Yeah, the Pilsner Kell is only a half liter. This is like a 0.65, 0.7 liter. But anyway, cheers. Beautiful head on this beer. I mean, I love it. Just, sink my lips into it. Mwah. Ah, that is wonderful. So, yeah, we have two screens here. See what happens here. I'm on the side, bottom. I'm on the third, so I'm a little bigger. Oh, it's me and my SSI score. Okay. Well, I'm going to stop sharing the screen anyway. Enough about SSI. But I got into the 1% despite of not being here so much. So I don't know. Activity, does it drive SSI score? No, I think the money does more. I think honestly, it's all about the money. It always comes down to the money. Let's see what this one is. This one's a little bit smaller. This is side by side. This is like the best one with the most. The ghost with the most. So, and I have, we covered this, we covered that, we covered the music and Thanksgiving. And yeah, now it's more like had a quarter of a chicken this morning and then just that cream of chicken condensed soup. And it's all my food. And then, of course, liquid bread. But, uh, but yeah, so this is what I have to eat, and I'm trying to lose the weight because it's just getting too annoying. But I was doing a lot less walking and stuff, and because sitting at the computer is never a good thing, so it's always good to try to get some steps. And even when I was translating, I was doing. I had to get up every couple of hours. I mean, I'm the type of guy that just gets in to something that I'm doing, and I just don't let it go. And yeah, with the translating, I had problems with trying to, like, I sat down and I just sat for like 4, 5, 6 hours at a time, just translating, just typing. I mean, you know, and was able to do 10 pages in one sitting, basically. And um, yeah, then I was like trying to get up from the chair. Wow. And this is 15 years ago, so I was 35. I mean, all the tendons, all the muscles when you're sitting there, it's kind of like sitting in an airplane for a long time. They always tell you to just get up and stretch and whatever. So, and I did that, and I was like, ow. I couldn't walk up the stairs first couple of minutes, so I had to kind of walk it off. So when you're sitting down at a computer, it's why they have come up with all these different chairs where you're actually kneeling on them at the desk and stuff. So I do recommend some moving around because I know how hard that can be. So that's why I love my here when this live shows. I love my going for a beer because stretches the legs. That's the most important part. But I started walking more, and it was it was funny because I was comparing steps the other day, and I was telling my son, I says, "How many steps do you have?" He's like, "Oh, I had 8,000 steps. He had like 4,000 for the day." And then I was like, "Well, no, forget it. That's not that much of a difference. Let's compare monthly." So I was like 150,000 steps, and he was up to 100,000. I was like, "There you go. You got to start moving more." Oh, see, there you go. Well, it's not following me, so that's good. But yeah, somehow the see people, uh, person follow and targets. We'll kick up the Zoom again, and we're good to go, I think. So yeah, another pretty background. I mean, I can change it, but I don't care. It's just it's just a hotel room background. We all have to live with it. And where did I end up? Oh, getting up. Oh, compare the steps. And so now I can do again. I mean, I used to do sports all my life, but sitting down at a computer, I gained 40, 50 pounds in 2008 because I was playing squash, scuba diving, and all that. Then I started my translation agency and I gained 40, 50 pounds in the first year or so because all you do is sit down. It's just terrible. So I'm not an office person, never was. Same way I said I'm not a marriage, home, body type guy. So, yeah, sitting down is terrible for me. And I got into it again this year, and I'm like looking at myself. I'm like, wow, that's a lot. I could compare some pictures, pull out, but I'm not gonna look for them now. But that was big. So always stretch your legs and do your stuff, do your exercises, take some breaks. Because once you get into focusing something, you want to finish it. I understand it totally. Like I said, I was talking about last time. I said I did do 30 pages a night translating, but it's good to take breaks. So, so yeah, That's my next topic. And then the one thing I was neglecting this week was YouTube, and really didn't do anything on it since. Well, I did because I no, I didn't on NC Web Dev. I didn't even do the. I didn't even do the weekly webinar because the thing ran out. The subscription for Restream. I used the free version. I had some gamer version, and I want to upgrade it, and it was like it's quite a bit of money. It's an investment. Restream is great, but it's an investment, and unless you're really making money just on streaming and stuff, which I'm not. We're doing websites. My son does videos for YouTube, but we're not big streamers. That's not where our audience is. So I'm like, I just do this for fun. Just talk about life's experiences and whatever else, and go improv. And improving is great, but I still think about it all day. And I was like, what topics should I cover? And what should I do? And which way to do it, and how to do it. And so kind of like it runs in your head. And if I don't feel very strong about whether I can pull like an hour or two or three, I'm like, nah, I'm just much rather not do anything at all. So, but today I felt like I have some things to say because there was a lot of things that happened, a lot of things that were going on. Like I said just now with the SSI score, that was information I think this morning. I was like, wow, look, I hit the 1%. Yay! Now the big bucks start coming in. And nothing's changed. No big bucks are coming in, even if I had 0.5%, which doesn't exist. But hey, that's life. But we do this for fun. It's supposed to be fun. And if you're doing, and then that's the one thing I did want to touch upon is all these people that have these processes and they have this voodoo ritual, the warm-up period, the post thing, that thing. No, it's your content. It's how authentic you are. And you can cheat it with doing engagement pods and doing boosts and stuff, but no, in the long run, it's just not gonna do anything for you. So, unless you're going for vanity metrics, don't worry about the processes, because I post, I comment 6 hours later, and the numbers don't change. They're still the same. And with LinkedIn choking all this stuff, hey, have fun. That's the number one thing. And build relationships. And that's the one thing. That's the next topic I want to really talk about too. Is because back in the 90s, you had to go out every single day, meet people. Today, you meet people online. It's changed somewhat, but not that much. And this is a what would you call this? This is my sort of crying over spilled milk because I'm watching the next generation with my son, around my son in the colleges. And the youngest, I think, is the Generation Z now. Is that what it is? Let me check. Gen Z, I think it is, right? Gen Z age range. 97 to 2012. Yep. Yes. That's Gen Z. Well, I use Bing. I can share the screen and just to see. And there we go. Between 12 and 27 years old. Generation Z, also known as Gen Z, spans from 1997 to 2012, making anyone born within those years a part of this generation. The age range for Gen Z is between 12 and 27 years old as of 2024. But this generation, I guess it comes from the word Z. They just throw out the Z's all day. I mean, I have never seen anybody sleep so much as this generation. It's just their life is sleep. I'm like, wow. It's and this is something that surrounds my son, and I'm like, I can't imagine that. I was always out doing something, meeting people, all through the 90s. I'm like, I'm doing. I wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning. I do my work. I do workouts. I meet people at 10 a.m. I do a webinar and I go back to do another work, and then I go for a beer. Cheers. So that was a good one. So yeah, this generation is a generation of sleepers, and I'm like, it's good. It's Gen Z, but they leave no trail behind. At least I have something to show for it in my past. Currently, just having fun and partying and doing the same thing I was doing in the '90s, basically. But let's go to another break, beer break. Okay, welcome back to the break. Here we go.
Good evening.
Christmas time, and my son's here, so we're gonna have some eggnog
Can you hear me?
for tonight.
Hello?
Hello, can I hear you?
Can you hear me?
No, your mic is off. Gen Z has woken up, but not the camera. But he can hear me, so it's good.
Hello?
We can't hear you.
Hello, hello? Can you hear me?
Got to go to settings or something. Well, anyway, we have the surprise visit of the sleeping dinosaur. We're gonna have some eggnog. Smells good. I have eggnog is really nice. Prairie Farms eggnog. Tastes good. Mm. So, yes, I can see some
Hello?
green on you now.
Hello, hello?
No?
I think it might.
Mute? Unmute?
Hello, 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 hello?
You can hear me? No?
I can hear you.
Yeah. I can't hear you. No sound. I have speaker on.
Hello? Oh, come on.
Hello? Speak some.
Hello?
You can hear me? No?
I can hear you.
I can't hear you. No well, sound. Where would I shut this off here, though? I've got 150 here. The speaker on the computer is on. I have speaker on. You can actually hear me from the phone now. But I can't hear you here. Oh, I know why. Because I'm using the headphones jack. So I have to switch to. My
Now I
mic
can't
is
hear you.
muted.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, now you can hear me.
Hello?
Because I was not able to hear you because I have it. Because once you put the mic, because I have the jack mic, not the Bluetooth, and so if I put it in, I can't hear anything at the computer. I would have to basically put the mic in my ear and listen to it like that. But that wouldn't work. Anyway, wake up call from Gen Z.
No eggnog for me. I mean, I tasted it. It's I don't know. This one tastes weird. It
Well,
tastes
I
like
think
freaking cinnamon. I don't like that.
there's no cinnamon in it whatsoever.
It's no there. I read it. There's some spice in it. It says
Guam,
some
no,
spice.
spices, yes, but no,
Spice. Yeah.
but that's eggnog. You always have to put spice. But
I don't
then
know. It
mine is
tastes
much
weird.
better because
Yeah. Yeah. Of course.
you know I spiced it too. I have a spiced eggnog. It's much better that way. You pour some out of the bottle. I have a this is the pure stuff.
Mm.
So I took that out, refilled it with Cruzon, and now I
With
have
the
good
rum,
eggnog.
I think with the rum you probably won't taste the cinnamon. There's a hint of it in there of the spice, but I don't like it.
That's what eggnog is. Eggnog is
Yeah.
spice.
Oh.
Yeah, there's a little bit of
That's
cinnamon,
it.
but it's good. But that's kind of like when you that's kind of
It's
like
like
when
Fireball.
you
It's like
taste spiced
Fireball.
rum. It's similar. Fireball or
Yeah.
spiced rum. But um, again, I got to zoom myself out a little bit because
There you go.
see, I get this ding, ding, and
Wow.
ding. You see
Yeah.
those icons on there, right? I got to get down that target. But it kind of like you just move your finger and it just focuses in and out. Anyway, so how was your nap,
No nap for me. Yeah.
Mr. Gen
Right.
Z?
No. And I see it every time. I mean, when my roommate always
Generation.
comes in, he always takes a nap. But at the same time, granted, like sometimes those days he wakes up at 5 a.m. for football. So okay, that's acceptable. Some
Some days. But even if he doesn't wake up, he'll still take a nap in the afternoon.
he does go to bed a lot earlier though, like a lot earlier than me, which is like 11.
So, what brings you here?
I
Other
heard.
than
Yeah,
Merry
Merry
Christmas.
Christmas.
Ho, ho, ho.
But and happy late Thanksgiving now. Um,
Belated gobble
you were
gobble.
talking about Gen Z. It's kind of directly addressing me. By
So,
the way, the Gen Z is not the
no.
latest one, and it also depends on what you look at. Of course, different sources have different estimates for when Gen Z is. So I don't know. I've seen even like Gen Z ends in like 2006, 2005, and then Gen Alpha begins. Generation Alpha. That's the newest one.
Yeah, I,
So
I know. It depends on
yeah.
where you're taking it from.
So
But still, I believe that your generation is the generation of sleepers.
I mean,
You go to the university and everybody just goes, "Oh,
I can't disagree. It's like
oh."
Prince Valium from Spaceballs. You remember him?
Sort of,
Always like that.
sort
Yeah,
of. Yeah, but it's more like also the Czech mountain of what is it? Kutná Hora?
forgot. Ah, yeah,
Blaník.
yeah, right.
Blaník.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
Blaník. The armies of the ancient armies
yeah.
that have
Whenever the
lost over
Bohemian
maybe,
nation comes under attack, those guys will riot right out of that mountain to save it. Basically, that's the story.
and those are all the soldiers that were part of the losing battles, the biggest losing battles in
Yeah,
history of Czech Republic. They did not die. They went to sleep
in the
in
mountain.
Blaník, and they will come out when the country's at its lowest
Yeah,
point
there was
ever.
like a comedy. And there
And
was like
that's
a
sort of
comedy
Gen
skit
Z.
where somebody was waking them up, and it was like, "Oh yeah, we're under attack," and they were like, everybody was like, "Yeah." So yeah, of course. But no, yeah, that it does.
Is it the worst of all yet? Oh, let me go to the local pub, have a beer, two, three,
Yeah,
and let's see if times are that bad that we should be
yeah,
riding out yet.
yeah. No,
So when is Gen Z riding out?
no, that's not happening. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what they're doing.
That's my
Yeah,
point of
my
record.
roommate just sent me like snaps on Snapchat where he was literally just laying down on the couch. So I mean, I guess that's reasonable, but compared to me when
Given the
well, yeah,
weekend,
but I still work, and tomorrow I'm going to be
given
recording for my client. So on a Sunday, it's like, oh yeah, Sunday you shouldn't do any work. Yeah,
no,
Sunday you should be sleeping. And it's like, oh yeah, you go to what the traditional mindset should be. Oh yeah, you go to a church and then you go for some wherever food, lunch, fried chicken, coffee, whatever, Starbucks, and then you go back home and you just watch movies and lay down and nap all day. That's what Sunday is supposed to be. And
football,
football, yes, but yeah, but
football,
not. I don't know. Not for me. Not
football
for me.
Sunday, football Sunday. Watch, listen to Sparta Prague today.
I don't
So
think it's the Gen Z.
wasn't it
Yeah,
was
the Gen
another
Z thing, like sleeping. It's not about only like the entire generation because there are, of course, people that in my generation that are workers and all that stuff. But most, I mean, the college students, they're not.
okay. Let's
Okay.
talk about college students. There's always people that have a job. How many college students at Wesleyan have a job?
Yeah, that's tough to say. I mean, probably not a lot.
Okay, no, no, no. I don't. I'm not looking for 5 or 10. I'm not looking for five
I
or
mean,
10 or
it's a
17 or
college with
25.
around 2,000 people.
I'm looking at roundabout percent. Roundabout percent have a job.
For percentages,
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know. My guess would be possibly ten
one out of a
percent.
hundred, 5 out of 100, 10 out of 100,
One out of a
50 out of
hundred. It's
100
one. Oh no, 10%. 10 out of 100.
have a job,
Yeah,
and the 90% do what?
athletes. Like my roommate, for example, they can be studying and being here or doing playing games. Like my former roommate who did esport gaming and all that stuff. So she's actually
Okay, the
technically
day has
considered
24.
athletics.
I know it's like
Yeah,
chess is also a heavy sport, but I mean, I play a lot of chess, and we played chess together, so you
yeah.
know. But yeah,
Would you
that's
want to ask?
very.
Would you want to ask? You wanted to ask something?
No, it was like the day has 24 hours. I sleep 6, sometimes 4,
I slept
sometimes
6.
7. If I have enough beer, I'll even sleep 8 or 9. But, let's talk about Gen Z. How many hours does the 90% that don't have a job sleep?
I mean, 10 hours. I don't know. Like including overnight and all the naps during the day, I would say 10 to 11 hours. Are you there? No. Hello. Wi-Fi is kind of trashy. I need to get on the phone hotspot. Gotta text him now. Oh, there we go. Welcome back. Hello. Yeah, he's gone again. Well, that's fun. Well, looks like he's not coming back on or something. Not sure what's going on, but not responding, not doing anything. So, oh, hello.
Yep, I'm back.
There. Okay.
All
So where were we?
right, different ending now.
Let's get right back into the point. Let's get right back into the
Let's,
point. Okay.
let's, let, let's get back to the Scooby Dooby ending number two.
So 10, 10 to 11 hours was my guess, with all the including all the naps and overnight.
All right, so that's like half the day.
Almost, yeah. I mean, I can attest for my former roommate who slept that he sometimes came back home at like 2, and when he didn't have anything the next day, he would just sleep till 12,
What do you mean 12?
12 p.m. From 2 a.m. to
From
12 p.m. 10
yeah, and
hours.
then he went out to lunch, and he went back to take a nap.
Call his girlfriend, and then maybe play some games, and then maybe take a nap for before having like a big game the next day or something like that.
Well, you got to rest. I mean, the body needs to regenerate before a big video showdown. You know, it's just. I mean, we
Yeah.
watched 5 movies. We were pretty beat too. So
I
on
mean, yeah. I mean,
Thanksgiving, we were pretty tired ourselves. So,
that was
you
well.
know.
You weren't tired. You went to bed right like you know. You were wondering
Yeah, I
why I
know.
was sleeping till 9 when I went to bed at like 2:30.
Yeah, and I woke up at 6:30 on Thursday, and I went to bed at 12:30. Wow, only 18 hours after I woke up. Anyway, this eggnog is pretty good. The Cruzan eggnog tastes very well. Anyway, so I ignored my YouTube while you were working on it. What what did you discover this week on YouTube?
On
Because
YouTube.
you're having your live events on Tuesdays, and you were saying, "Don't get this, don't do this, and don't do that." And
Well, okay.
and then what happened?
I want to address that. No, so on the stream, I was saying how I select topics. I was saying that you shouldn't get political, aka taking sides, being biased, and all that stuff. Because people and YouTube don't like that when you take sides, especially like. Well, okay, I'm not gonna get into that. I'm really not, because LinkedIn, it's your platform. I don't want to ruin it for you. So
No, don't just tell me tell me what happened.
no,
Just
yeah. So I'm telling you. So I did that, and then I did a video. I think later the same day. No, it was the same day. Um, that it was titled Misinformation. Misinfo expert hallucinates evidence, and it was basically, can I speak my mind freely here, or are we gonna get banned, or what do you think?
I don't know. Let's see. I don't care.
Let's see what happens.
we,
Okay, so I was
we,
saying,
we still have Twitter to go to, so
you know
it's
what?
okay.
Actually, I'll just play it right here if I can, if I may.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Let me get into my profile. Oh, last post, and then right here. Okay. Hang on, I got to do this. Share screen if I
All right, let's
can.
play. Yeah, I'm gonna disappear.
Okay. Good. There we go. Okay. Now I'll play it.
Misinformation expert hallucinates evidence. So recently there was a law introduced in Minnesota that would ban the use of AI deepfakes as election misinformation. If it was to be passed, the law would make it a literal crime to widely share deepfakes intended to hurt a candidate's reputation within 90 days of an election. So naturally, somebody challenged that law, saying it was a violation of the First Amendment, which I think is true. But watch out, a new challenger has appeared. In defense of the law, Minnesota introduces Dr. Jeff Hancock of Stanford University. Dr. Hancock gives an expert declaration in front of the court, including multiple reliable sources. But wait, what's that? Well, it turns out that two of the reliable sources are completely made up. Who knows, maybe he popped a pill right before writing that expert declaration. Do you think this is ChatGPT's work, or did Dr. Hancock use narcotics? Subscribe my channel and tell me in the comments.
So,
And well, let me jump into this. I
yeah.
shut this off. Do side by side, and as I've reported and mentioned and talked about, and you did that on your YouTube channel as well, is basically what happened before the election is YouTube has implemented this algorithm thing, and and it was supposed to be to protect the election. So what happens is YouTube is trying to pretend they're neutral, which they're of course never are. I mean, there's no neutral platform, but they have this special algorithm update where they watch out and they restrict things about election. And while this topic is more general, you mentioned the word election,
So just
which
because I mentioned election, that's why they just completely
yes,
shadow banned it and purged it?
yep, yep.
Get out of here. That's just so, I don't know. That's
I
stupid.
I I, I warned about this.
Oh, no. Nope. You're cutting in and out. Fix your Wi-Fi. You're
What?
getting some reception back. No,
Yeah.
you were cutting in and out. You were lagging. Okay. And now you're stuck again. Oh, looks like it's going to be a solo stream. Welcome back.
I should shut off. Yeah, I shut off the Wi-Fi on my phone now. So
Well,
I'll
what were you
just run
saying? What
through.
were you saying about what you were warning about, and then you cut
I
off?
said, I said if you're going to be doing YouTube stuff, they have this algorithm update for the election year, and they will be restricting anything that has to do with any kind of misinformation for YouTube
Did I
for election
misinform?
for
That's why I take
misinformation.
stuff straight out of articles and out of official websites. I never misinformed anyone in that video.
Yeah, but they don't really care. It says election, the video, and that's a stop word.
Funny thing is,
Plus, I
I
mean,
never even mentioned election in the title.
well, it's not like the algorithm analyzes the title only.
Yeah, but I don't think it doesn't really. I don't think it works that way because a lot of people I know, they always talk about election, election, election. I watch a lot of YouTubers and all that stuff on the
Yes,
election topic.
but are they making fun of the? Are they making really fun of the person that is fighting election interference and deepfakes, or are they supporting him?
I mean, they're probably both. I've heard both. I mean, I don't think anybody has heard about this yet because it's pretty obscure. But
And your YouTube channel does not have 1 million followers. If of course, if Mr. Beast or Joe Rogan would put this out,
well,
he may get.
YouTube might shadow ban it anyway, as we've seen with the Joe Rogan
Yes,
interview.
but it was. But we'll leave that out.
Oh
But
yeah, but I'm just saying.
we'll leave that one out. I don't want to
Okay,
talk
right,
about
right, yeah. I mean, but it's
I,
true. It's stating factual information. I'm just saying. Now,
do
if you
you
search it
own
up, you can
YouTube?
find it.
Do
Huh?
you own YouTube? Do
No,
you own YouTube?
unfortunately not. I would
Well,
not be here
then
if I did.
then facts don't matter.
I guess they can be as factual as you want, but if they own you, they own you. Yeah.
Yeah, well, no, they don't own you. They own their platform. We could go on Rumble and talk
Well,
about
they,
this,
they
but
own your channel pretty
well,
much.
they own the platform. They don't own
They
you.
they
They
own your
own
channel. If you say
yeah,
something, they can just
yeah,
and you're gone.
yeah, yeah. That's what
So
most
yeah, so
people
they
don't
basically
understand.
yeah
And this is not even a breach of freedom of speech because they're not declared to be a
yeah
public
they're not
platform.
they're a private entity. Yeah, they don't
Yeah,
have to
so
go. Yeah. Hmm.
it doesn't matter. And that's why I was like, I always laugh at people like they're restricting my freedom of speech. Build your own Facebook.
Yeah, I mean,
It's like
Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, they make their own rules.
everybody,
Yeah, I mean,
Rumble makes their own.
every private company, every private institution, every private everything can make their own rules.
Yeah, Rumble makes their own rules. Trump's Truth Social makes their own rules.
Yeah, Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, all these people. Yeah,
Look at Twitter.
yeah,
Why does the left hate Twitter? And I could see their point as well because yes, again it's his platform and he is more open than anybody else, but he does not like when somebody doesn't like what he's doing. So again, he does his own in his advantage,
yeah.
meddling with info and stuff. And there's a whole different law about that because it has to do with the I forget the number of the law now, but this because when you count as a journalist and you're not responsible for the content that's on there and stuff, so that it gets a little bit more involved. But I just don't want to get into too deep into it. But generally, my platform, I set the rules, and yeah, if you declare this to be a public space, then yes, you would have the First Amendment apply to it, but it's not a public space. It's still
Or
owned
if
by
the
a private
government
entity.
owns it, yeah.
Yeah, that's a different story. If the government, that was the problem with the government telling Facebook and stuff what they should share and what they shouldn't, because that is a problem. That is that's why the federal judge put a stop on that because government can influence the private entities, telling them, well, this is the truth, this is not. They're not supposed to be deciding that. They're not supposed to be influencing and restricting freedom of speech in any way.
Because then
That's
it
a
becomes
different story. That's because the government was telling Facebook what to do.
Yeah.
But if Facebook says we're not going to just post this, hey, that's so. The mistake with the video was the election. So, and what was the performance of the video?
and show you. I think
When I take a drink, it goes into a, yeah, of course, share the screen. When I take a
it's gonna
drink,
take
it
some time.
zooms in on it. It loves drinks.
Of course.
Now I have to make myself smaller again.
Now I have to find this because switch accounts. Then I have to go into the studio. Then I have to find that. Just keep talking or something.
Oh, we're waiting for you. I was just playing with my camera. When I take a deep drink, it always zooms in on me because it loves my alcohol. There's a big delay of live.
What would happen? What would happen if I brought out alcohol? Huh? Yeah.
Well, streaming in Czech Republic, it wouldn't matter.
Yeah. Right. What if I have a VPN?
Well, then you're crap out of luck.
Yeah.
So, did you find it yet?
Ah, wait, no, I didn't want to. Nah, not this one.
I can just stop it.
No, it's fine. No, it's fine. It's fine.
Show on stream. Approve it.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Or no? Okay.
There we go. Okay. So here's a performance.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, the percentages were nice and all, but I don't think it even. went to the algorithm or into the feed that extensively. So yeah, of course, likes. Yeah, it's basically just the same stuff, but on a way lesser scale. So yeah, 18 nice views in the past 3.5 days.
And what's the engagement?
You can only see the percentage
No,
here. It's unfortunate.
no, that's not what I was.
What do you mean, like
Uh,
engagement?
no, the reach.
Well, reach. Okay.
66.7%.
Yeah,
It used to be 100%. Now somebody just didn't like it.
possibly. But yeah, it was not a bad topic. It included AI in there because they speculated that he probably, of course, I made fun that he used narcotics, but uh, it was probably, he just in his professional, the whatever he stated that had like 10 sources or something like that. It was like, oh yeah, I do this, and this law should be passed. But two of the sources, at least two of the sources, were completely made up. Like they couldn't find it anywhere where they were cited, where from where they were cited. So
Well, they were non-existent. And now,
well,
how did this do
AI
on
was.
LinkedIn? How did
Oh
this
yeah, it
video do on LinkedIn?
was interesting to see because I think it did better. Yeah,
Yes,
here
it did.
that's how it did.
Not by much, but
Yeah, of course, because I mean, it's way smaller. They don't. LinkedIn video is still very small, so compared to YouTube Shorts, so
and your audience is not that big either.
yeah, but yeah, pretty good considering,
Yeah.
like compared to other videos as well.
Yes, yes,
So
and
yeah,
back to back to Gen Zs.
yeah.
When is the wake up time for Gen Zs? What year, what age do Gen Zs wake up in?
Not sure what the question means. What?
Well, is it the age of 18, 19, 20, 21, 22? When are they actually
Oh, well, I think it hits
start to
them
work?
right after they get out of college, because like they get their degree and it's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get a beautiful nice job now and gonna make a lot of money or go into daddy's company or something like that, and then it hits them in the face that it actually doesn't work that way. You need to have connections. You need to have uh, income, some sort of income. Otherwise, you're gonna end up at least 2 to 3 years behind a McDonald's fryer or grill, and going to be flipping hamburgers or putting fries in a bag, and uh, getting $15 an hour because nobody cares about your philosophy major. Not really.
While having to pay back a mortgage
Yeah.
from college,
Well.
which is
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
$1,500, $2,000 a month.
Yeah. I'm not. I'm not sure what types of installments do they have, but it might be something like that. It might be, yeah,
Well,
around there.
your college loans that you're taking, some of them, is what do they do?
Well, there's two types of loans that are the not that are the ones that not do not accrue while you are in college, and then there are the ones that do.
Are you on?
Cheers. Yeah, so there are, so that's the two types of loans, and I think the majority is like that do not accrue. I think,
Interest?
yeah, interest. Forgot which ones. I have to look at that again, but I forgot if the
Yeah, but
federal
get
ones
into
are the
more
or
detail.
this.
No, no, get into more detail. I'm gonna go hit the John again, but get into more detail about how you're taking the loans and how what do they do when you start paying them and how much you're gonna have to pay and how fast and what's
Okay.
the interest.
Yeah, so like I said, two types of loans. There's the not accruing interest while in college, accruing interest while in college, and uh, the ones that do accrue interest. Well, both of them you start paying off 6 months after getting out of college, and yeah. So if you're going like to another school right after you graduate with a bachelor's or something, then you're gonna keep those. Then you'll have to pay back anything, and they do not start accruing. But yeah, so they are start accruing 6 months. Those that do not accrue during college, uh, they start accruing 6 months after you exit college, and that's when also you have to start paying them back. And I forgot what he asked. If he said like, how do you get them? Well, I mean, it's based on financial needs. So basically, you have to get your parents' tax returns unless you are an independent student, uh, which we had a problem with because my dad doesn't really financially support me that much. I was basically a self-sustaining student. I held down 2 part-time jobs and all of that, and he couldn't get his tax return or whatever. And they were like, "Oh yeah, we can't classify you as an independent student despite literally paying for the entire like the tuition amount and tuition the installments or whatever on your own." I could have shown them the receipts that I was. So they just didn't take that though, and it's really interesting. What else did you want to know?
And well, I was yeah, that's and just saying is like you have to pay back the loan, and you said you have to start paying it back when what's
6 months.
within 6 months when you end. And so when you get out of college,
So basically, in that
all right,
time, they're giving you time to find a job or something. Yeah.
right. So you get out of college, let's say in June. What is your graduation year in Wesleyan? 27.
27.
Yeah. So in June 27th, you get out of college.
May. Doesn't matter, but May.
June starts the period. I know. Yeah, you'll have a graduation in May something, but then in June you get out of college because then you have a graduation ceremony, move out and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's basically June. And then you have 6 months. So June plus 6 is Christmas.
About.
So your first Christmas present is your first loan
College
repayment. Loan repayment, which how much money you're taking? Like it depends on how much you're paying down and stuff.
Depends,
But
and they're also
much do you have
break it
now?
down
How
into
much
really
do you, no,
small.
no, how much do you have now? How much do you have now accrued in the loans?
Accrued in the loans. I mean, I have to check. It always does. It always shows you that.
Is it 15 or 20,000? It's like 15 or 20,000
About, yeah. I mean,
for the first 2 years.
yeah, I could just log in and I'll see it.
Doesn't
I'm
matter.
not sharing my screen. That doesn't seem like it. Okay.
It's not important. It's the exact number is not important. But in your case, because you have certain breaks and you have certain things, and then you still have to borrow. You have a job and you're working something and stuff, so you're paying off some of the stuff. But so you have 20,000 a year roughly that you're gonna have to be paying back. In 4 years, that comes out to about 80,000. That's kind of like a mortgage.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of is. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. Yeah, and a lot of people sign off on it, and sometimes parents take out the loans and everything, and they have to pay it for their kids. So that's another.
Yeah, either way though. Either way. So I'm just talking about if the kids do it themselves, what me and you are doing. I said, no, you take this on yourself. I'm not taking on anything.
Yeah.
So you take a loan of $80,000, and then you have 6 months to come up with the first payment, and then you have to pay it every month.
And you pay it for the next.
And what's the repayment? What's the installment on 80,000? It's kind of like a mortgage.
It depends. I think I forgot how they split it up. It's like it's a pretty long repayment though. So you got like I think a 10-year repayment.
What?
I think a 10-year repayment. I'm not sure though. It might be like that. I think it's like 120 months. I think. So they break it down into 120 installments.
Mortgage calculator. Look, I'm going to do a rough one here. I'm going to share the screen. I'm going to show you as well. And, I mean, I used to be a real estate agent, so I had to do this. I was a licensed real estate agent, so I kind of know how mortgages works. We're going to go to mortgage calculator right here. Whatever the first one was, just to get a rough idea. I'm not going to get into the details and stuff.
Sure, yeah. Go ahead.
So you have. So what is the interest rate you're paying on your thing?
Oh, gosh, that's what I need to check. That's why I wanted to sign.
What is it? It doesn't matter whether it's 3 or 4 or 5%. I think it's like around 4 or 5%, right?
Possibly. I think
Let's
yeah,
do
something like
let's
that.
let's do 4%. Loan amount 80,000. Okay. Home value 80,000. Down payment 0. Interest 4%. Years 10. It's too complicated, but anyway. Property tax, I'm not going to worry about. Start date, December 2024. This is exactly, it's just going to project it over 3 years later. But conventional, calculate. There you go. Payment with PMI after 28 months. Mortgage repayment. So you're going to have to start paying. And this is just the point what I'm trying to make. I'm not trying to get the exact numbers. It's going to be a little bit different and stuff like that. But you're going to have to start paying down six after graduation. Basically, you have no clue, no idea. And after six, am I sharing the screen or not? I mean, I still see it because it's delayed over there. So yeah,
Yeah,
no,
you
I
share
see
any
it.
screen.
Yeah. So basically, over here, this is the amount. This is your monthly payment.
Yeah.
On your loan starting December 2027. And so, how much are you making at a McDonald's? Working 40 hours. You just did a couple of those odd jobs. So, how much will you make in a month in one job if you're working 40 hours a week?
If I'm working 40 hours, I could probably make two, around two.
Around 2,000, right? 24,000 a year.
About that.
And the college wants $1,000 a month from you.
Yeah. So from the rest, you can live.
Happily ever after. That's a mathematical reality of college.
Issue is sometimes there's nuances in what
Yeah,
college
there's
you go
always going to be
to, and
differences. You're going to be more expensive, less expensive, and stuff. But we're talking about just taking 20,000 a month, 20,000 a year loan for 4 years. You graduate, you paid off. They call it financial, what was it, financial aid, but it's not a
yeah,
financial aid. It's a financial aid where you're going to owe $1,000 a month starting 6 months after you graduate. So, how is that financial aid? I don't understand. I just
they always
didn't
say
understand.
financial aid.
Yeah, they sell it as financial aid, but this is the value of the financial aid. 6 months after you graduate, pay me.
Yeah.
Hey, Stu, your rent's due. Your
MFR.
college loan, your college payments due.
Yeah.
Don't be pulling that falling down the stairs crap on me. That's what everybody's facing in 4 years.
Yeah. That's true.
So,
Nobody, and then like the people that take it to their name, they just party on. A lot of them.
yeah,
So
you're like, oh yeah, I'll pay it when the time comes. Well, it's coming,
yeah.
and that's what I'm trying to teach you. And like, no, start making some money now. Get a for you definitely a side gig. I mean, I hate the word side gig, and I'm
I hate it
saying
too.
something about that because side gigs suck and they never work. But Fry left a comment. Parties pay corporations to shadow ban content promoting. Let's see if I can actually put it on the where we chat here, and I could do the overlay next to us, and we have it there. Parties pay corporations to shadow ban content promoting opposition, purely financial. Yep, that's another part that they do. It's a paid service like
All
anybody
right,
else.
so I got it right here. I finally pulled it up. So this is from wait, I forgot which. Sorry, what day it was disbursement? That was last year, I think. Yeah, that was last year. So for just last year, I have around $10,000 total current balance just in federal loans, and I think the university loan is just a little less, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's like 2,000, maybe. Wait,
Yeah, no, it was very
4,000
low.
or something. Yeah, and then also I have that. Yeah, okay. And the interest rate is 5.5, and the repayment start date is actually the 29th of October in 2027. What it
So it's
says.
even earlier.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but there you go. So it's going to be 500, 700 something, but it's a big payment no matter how you look at it.
Yeah, I see.
It's
Unpaid.
not-
Yeah, so this one accrues. Yeah. Right. Okay. And it actually, I don't know what this means. It says interest accrued through, and it says 1201, aka today.
Yeah, because the two interests works the way where it's one of them starts accruing on the day you take out the loan,
Yeah.
and the other one has deferred accruement or accrual, which is starts accruing. I think those are the federal ones. They don't start accruing interest
So there's a
until
yeah.
the
So
day
there's a
you take out
subsidy.
the loan.
Yeah. There's a
Until you finish college.
So there's a difference. Yeah. There's a subsidized and an unsubsidized loan, a federal loan, and a subsidized loan is the lesser one, which is like 3,500 out of the 10,000, and it's that doesn't accrue interest, and then the unsubsidized, which is like the 6.3, then that it does. And right now the balance is six. It took out 6,000,
It doesn't.
like that,
It
and
doesn't.
it's
The
accrued
exact number.
$300. So it's interesting.
Don't worry. Don't worry about the
I'm just
exact.
watching it.
I know, but don't worry about the exact numbers. Basically, what it comes down to is most of you guys graduate and you owe a lot of money.
Yeah.
And there's only two options to do. Well, either you're going to make some money while you're in college, or you have to go look for a good job to start immediately after college.
Yeah, like a
Or
law
not.
office or something. Yeah.
Yeah, but they're still going to give you 2 years of residency and free stuff and whatever.
Yeah.
So they're not really going to.
And all that internships and everything. That's why I do everything in college. But most kids don't like to do that. They just like to party on all day and night, and then they get out of college and they're like, "Oh, I have to pay up." Wow,
Yeah, that's
it's like a slap in the face.
my point of the sleeping generation.
Yeah, that's why the next generation is those that went to college, and that's not a. Well, I think Gen Z is like right now. Oh, right now it's Gen Z has the most people that went to college in the United States, I think, out of
Yeah,
any generation before that.
and the only ones getting rich off of that are colleges
What's up?
who provide and the only ones getting rich off of that are the colleges who
Yeah.
are providing financial aid.
Yeah.
You sip
Zoomed in again.
and blow myself up.
Yeah, no, but so that does happen, but the thing is it's like every person is told like, "Oh yeah, you're going to go to college," and it's just like a must. It's almost presented as that. You have to go to college, you know. It's like nowadays. Used to be very rare that somebody went to college back in the 1800s or 1700s, but now it's just like everybody does it. So kind of I think the education has kind of decayed a little bit because now they literally just take anybody.
Yeah, but average income of less million.
What do you look it up?
I'm just because you could check all these things out, and I'm just looking at this.
Well,
And well, I'm going to share this now. Just just a quick one again. I'm going to do a screen share, something we could really look at, and Average income of Illinois Wesleyan graduates 6 years after
Oh my
enrolling,
God.
alumni who are working. What?
Oh man. Hmm.
So alumni who are working, the average
Wow.
earnings of 42,800 per year. After 10 years, the graduate earns 60,500 on average. In terms of specific areas of study, the following is the ranking of degree programs, medium, first year, blah, blah, blah. You could look this up and you see how much money you can be expecting to make, but the average income is 42,800. And with all sorts of financial aid and breaks and federal government and all that stuff, you're still stuck with about at least 1,000, sometimes $2,000 a month. So you're making on the average $42,000 a year, and you have to repay somewhere between 12 to 24,000 out of that just for college for 10 years. After 10 years, you're going to be bumped up to 60,000, and then the big buck starts rolling in.
After 10 years, when those kids are now adults and they're 32.
Yep,
Wow.
that's the reality. That's
So
that, and that's what I keep telling you.
everybody now talks
Um,
about a 6-figure income and everything, but yeah, right.
There you go. Well,
That's
that's just my point with college. I mean, it wasn't like I told you before. I was like, I don't know where I'm going to take this, and just want to be talk about stuff that goes on social media and whatever else, and then we get into other topics. And this is why it's just a free improv marathon, whatever stream, and let's talk about anything. And just this is the simple math. I mean, this is the average income. Yes, you could be a high top paying lawyer, and you'll be increasing that average. But then there's a lot of people that are not. That are just and that's the average between that. And how is that worth it if you're paying 42,000? You're getting 42,000, and you're paying, let's say, 20,000 out of that. You're paying for just a loan for a piece of paper, a diploma. And nobody get me wrong, a
I'm
college
not sure.
degree is
I'm not sure what that means. Like the 6 years after enrolling alumni who are working. So after
that's how
enrolling
much you
where?
make. After 10 years, graduates earn 60,000 after enrolling into college.
Okay, so that means they have spent 4 years in college. So 2 years out of
And then
college, they
2 years after
earn
they graduate. Yep.
42,000.
Yep.
That's a
And
literal
10
gig.
years
That's
after.
a literal gig worker
Yeah.
salary.
Yep. Well, because again, and then this is something, now we're going to get back to LinkedIn. Okay. This is how I tie this back into it. And this is what a lot of big influencers will tell you. You don't need a college degree. You could, for information, there's nothing you could learn in college that you can't learn on LinkedIn. Because basically, when you come out of college, you learn a lot of stuff. I'm going to stop sharing this, but because this just want to show you the numbers. But you graduate out of college, you know nothing. You literally know nothing when you graduate out of college because you got a bunch of information that's very outdated because the textbooks had to be written 10 years ago. And so, there's a delay on that, on the information that goes into the textbook. So the professors are teaching you outdated information, but you're getting the information, you're getting some basics. But graduating out of college, the information learned in college itself pretty much is rendered useless by the time you even graduate. And that is a big problem. Number two is you enter the workforce, and the workforce has to accept you, has to absorb you, and has to train you to work in the field whichever way you pick, because you're not going to come out a ready worker to be working on top projects unless you're working in science and you're working some kind of experiments and stuff like that. There's exceptions to every rule. But as a lawyer, you'll know nothing because how many hours have you spent in court? How many hours have you actually spent talking to real
That's
criminals?
that's
Like
what you're
that.
gonna do. That's what
Minimum.
you're gonna do in college and like with the internships and everything. So
Yeah. But then internships you don't get paid for. And then you come out and you're still going to be
most of
making
them.
40,000 a year. And you're still going to be making 40,000 a year.
Yeah.
Wow, I love that. Take a sip and
It
zoom
zooms
in.
in.
And now you just gotta go. This way is the group.
Yeah,
This way is the person.
that symbol might be a little controversial.
I don't know. It follows you around afterwards. But
Yeah.
but this is the point about college. So any information you can learn in college. So if you're going to college to get information and to learn stuff, go to LinkedIn and save the money because you could learn the same stuff on LinkedIn, reading the stuff that I send you, that I post, that other people post. That's the same information, and it's actually more updated. So the college information renders useless when it comes to the provided information. But you're paying for that. And you're paying for the diploma. The
Yeah.
diploma is great to an extent.
Well, the
But
whole
college is
college, the whole school, all the way from elementary to high school to college, it always
incorrect on
yeah,
camera.
it's awesome. To college, it's just getting you ready to be a 9 to 5 office cubicle slave.
Yeah, who
Basically.
can't work, who can't schedule his time, and you need other people to help you doing stuff. And so it's. I mean, college is difficult, and and if you're looking to get a job, you really can't get one without a college degree. That's the catch 22 in that. By the way, like if you don't have a college degree, like I don't, you're not going to be able to get a job.
Except for like those, entry level minimum, uh, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
flipping
You're
burgers.
not going to be able to get a job. Yeah, you're gonna make flipping burgers. You're gonna make 24. With a college degree, you make 42. But
Depends
you
on
leave
what
the
area.
2,000 that you make over without a college degree. You give that back to the college. So you're still making the same money.
Wow, 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 wow. That's crazy.
It's just the numbers. There's nothing complicated about that. So the college is great because you meet friends. It's networking. That's the real value of college is networking
Yeah.
and getting ready to do a business. But while in college, you have to do things that will prepare you for life after college. And the diploma itself will not prepare you for anything. It will just give you
It's
an
not a
authority.
guarantor of protection. Yeah.
It just gives you authority.
Yeah.
But that's it. And you're still going to be making 40,000 a year,
It's true.
even with a diploma authority. So that's the reality of college. So you know, spend more time on LinkedIn. Well, that's the other one. Speaking about LinkedIn and relating back to college, because we were talking about that. I mean, how many people in your college have a properly set up LinkedIn profile?
Nah.
Or better yet, how many have 1,000 connections?
Yeah, I've looked through some profiles. There was actually like some impressive numbers in some, but of course, it's mostly like
No, there's always
inactive
exceptions
connections.
to
But
the
they
rule.
but
We're
they
talking
never.
about
I don't think they spend as much time as I do on it, and they always just like a connection request comes in, and it's mostly just like connecting with alumni and all that stuff. So she says, of course, it counts, but most of the people are just not active. These those are inactive accounts, and that just doesn't. For example, the SSI rating that you showed, the industry rating, it doesn't affect that. Actually, it affects it negatively if you have non-active connections, passive connections.
yeah. Those are the other scores that I was showing. There's a whole
Yeah,
list of things that's not important. But it's more about how
yeah,
many
but
connections do
nobody,
you
but
have.
nobody, yeah, but nobody does have like 1,000. I've seen like closest I've seen was like 800, I believe, but everybody was below me. So
Yeah.
yeah,
So if you're now going to spend the next 3 years, or 2 years now, building up the connections on LinkedIn, you're like 10 steps ahead of the crowd.
especially if I have a business running by then, which I'm working
And
on currently.
especially if you're using that network to build your video stuff, I mean, you know,
It's
you have
working.
always, and I'm not saying that should be your main thing. It may be eventually, but it may not be. Doesn't
I
matter.
can't. I don't think I've looked at the avenues. The avenues are, a lawyer, a businessman like this, or even a truck driver because I like driving like that. But yeah, there's a lot of other, like some history job too, or something like that, or teacher
Yeah.
still,
Well, we're looking at history jobs. So basically, a history job
a history
is
teacher.
no. Let's go to. I said job. I didn't say teacher. Let's
Yeah.
leave schools out of this at this point.
Okay.
We were looking at Where can you work as a historian, as a professor of history?
Probably like
What is the number? What is the number one place we looked at that everybody tells you, like AI told you or something?
what is it, like a museum thing
Right. And what was the salary in a museum?
around that 40,000 or something like that, or what is it?
Yeah, it was like 20. It was like $27 an hour or something.
Yeah, so that's a little more than. Man.
Just look it up. I mean,
Yeah,
it's not that hard. Average salary of a museum professor or whatever.
it's like
history.
56,000 a
Okay.
year, so it's a little more, but that depends on where you if you have experience, where you start. If you start as a
Exactly.
yeah.
When you started,
So
your
average, let's just
tenure.
say average would be 40,000, probably around there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, and it also depends on where you work. If I'm working in like this, Bloomington, the McLean County Museum of History, it's not gonna be as much as if I was working in the Smithsonian in the Smithsonian or something like that. So it's yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're still, but you're still paying a high money for the thing. So I'm just saying is like starting something on the side is having having a business, like let's say for example in your case the video editing business. It really makes sense to have it going because it will not interfere with you having a college degree as well. On the contrary, it will actually help you pay for that degree. You can still keep the degree and have it and always go back to it anytime you feel like it because you're going to have a degree. Degree is something somebody's never going to take away from you,
No.
really, unless you're cheating and blah, blah, blah. But we're not going to get into that. I mean, there's always
Yeah,
ways to
whatever.
get rebates, but that's not important. But if you're just thinking straightforward, is kind of like, well, you're going to have a degree and you're going to have a business that supports, that the degree supports, and that the business supports your degree. So why, getting fuzzy here. There we go. We got focused. But yeah, so it's kind of like all these kids that are not working in college or not building their business, they're not building their LinkedIn network. They're going to have to start doing that eventually.
Yeah.
They don't realize it now, but they're going to start doing it in 20 when they're 22. So the first 4 years are going to be quite the hell that I'm trying to put you through right now.
No, it's been hell, yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Then I can just roll over right now, or like roll over this period and exit college with a better,
the earlier you make
way
it
better
through hell, the
outlook.
better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you're going to have a portfolio of video work. You're going to have a college degree.
Might have some clients.
That is general. Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Portfolio work.
Right.
Portfolio is means that you have clients along the way, so that's how you build a portfolio.
With which, by the way, I could possibly find a video editing job too. So that's another avenue. Just saying.
That's what I'm saying. Is like you have options, and then you have the college degree that you can always go to and you can always use, but you attain that without the huge bill because your side job paid for part of that education, not all of it probably, or maybe it can, and maybe but even if it doesn't pay for all of it, I mean, ideally, yeah, it'll pay for all of it, but it may not pay for all of it. But so what? So it only paid for half of it.
Yeah.
So but that means you're not going to be paying 1,000 a month. You're going to be paying only 500 a month.
Yeah. So instead of sleeping, you can just take this time to actually make money and not just only go to parties and yeah, like I said, sleeping.
If it was only just if it was at least the parties where you meet people,
yeah, but
you guys just sleep.
Yeah, right after it's like a party, and it's like yeah, but no after party, no music, no nothing after that. It's gonna be like yeah, we're going to bed.
Well, if you guys have a get together, what time does everybody go home? Well,
I don't know, 11 midnight.
Yeah, my point exactly.
I stay up to sometimes till 6 or 5.
Yeah, when I went to college, it's where I went to bed. It was 6 o'clock in the morning, and 8 o'clock I had to go to school.
Yeah, the same was for me when I was like awake one day. I was like, so my roommate was right here, and I was basically just like doing whatever and playing games or something like that, just having a good time. And I noticed my roommate woke up, and I was like, oh, did I wake up? And he was like, no, I have to wake up for football. And I realized, oh shoot, it's 5 a.m. So I stayed awake till like 6, and then the next day I had schnooks at 9 a.m. or think no, I had to be awake at 9 a.m. So
whatever.
it was fun.
But
It was
yeah,
fun.
but most kids,
But
most
people can't do this though. I talk with a lot of people, and I told them this, and they were like, "Yeah, no, no." They would probably sleep like if they went to bed at 6, they would need to sleep till 4.
Yeah, and 20 and when they're 22, the reality is going to hit them.
And it's like, oh yeah, I've been having fun sleeping and all, but now I have to go to work. Yeah,
Rest well because it's going to catch up.
yeah. Rest well. What's that called? I forgot the name in English. Shipko Aruzhenka.
Sleeping Beauty.
There you go. Sleeping Beauty.
Still got my translation skills.
Yeah, so that's basically all of them right now. And, no, gotta go to work. Suddenly I can't sleep all day, or I don't know. What could they do? Well, possibly if they're rich and they work in a daddy's company afterwards, they don't have to do anything. But once they inherit the business, they're gonna completely. I was about to say f it up, just mess it up, you know.
Well, like we talked not so long ago, they're going to end up like the Vanderbilts.
Oh yeah, most definitely. It's like, oh yeah.
One generation makes the money, next generation drinks through the money.
First
The next generation
Vanderbilt,
tries to make some of it back.
yeah, first Vanderbilt ferrying people, basically the precursor to the Staten Island Ferry when he was 14, 15, 16. Started all the boating company, started the train everything, and now it's just like now it ends because it's completely
Well,
ruined.
He's a CNN news anchor, and he's not going to have any kids because he's gay.
Yeah.
So that's the end of Vanderbilt.
Glorious start.
He has money because of the name, but
not
gonna
have
one in line.
Yeah.
He's the last one in line, and that's it. And the one originally that started everything was richer than Elon Musk.
Not sure. That might be the Rockefellers or one of the French families or something like that.
No, Vanderbilts were the richest in America at the time, and there was no other richer country than America. So it kind of
Britain.
No.
Britain was richer than America when Vanderbilt was around. Believe that.
I don't.
They had a massive trade.
No,
don't try history with me, please.
Just the crown.
Yeah. Well, they were still richer. The
country
was richer.
They never made any money
and more profit.
Yeah, but they never made any money.
All the innovations, the steam and everything, all that stuff came from Britain. Again. So that's where it started, and therefore they made the most money off of it, and then they started exporting their technology out. The United States only became stronger than the United Kingdom or Great Britain or whatever you want to call it after World War II because they got completely blitzed out, literally.
Yeah, but still, trust me.
I'm telling you.
Vanderbilt was the richest person alive.
Sure. If you think so.
Don't count the queen.
You know what? I'll ask Claude.
Yep. Go ahead. Let's go to the videotape. As they used to say once upon a time. Now it's let's go to the AI.
Hang on. So
the hallucinating AI.
I forgot his name. Just the first Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
Was Vanderbilt the richest man on Earth back when he lived? Even richer than Elon Musk today or something like that.
Whatever.
Let's see what it says. Oh shoot, yeah, that's crazy. Cornelius Vanderbilt. Yeah, he lived a long life. Who lived a peak network of approximately today's. So he wasn't richer than Elon Musk, but he was substantially rich, yeah. But like I said, so he had in today's money, he had around $215 billion. His fortune of the $105 million at the time of his death represented about 187th of the U.S. GDP. But Elon Musk had 340 billion a couple of years ago, and
Yes,
Rockefeller
yes,
had
but
Rockefeller had equivalent of 400 billion. So Rockefeller was richer than everybody.
okay, but it's the statistics.
And of course,
What was the
there's
what was,
the adopted son of Julius Caesar, Augustus Caesar, who had probably around 4.6
and then there's a
trillion
guy in
dollars.
Africa that was the richest ever because he owned all the
Mansa
gold and
Musa,
stuff.
yeah, Mansa Musa.
Blah blah. Yeah, but we're talking about like business, a business person.
Yeah. Okay.
And at the time that Cornelius Vanderbilt
So what about
was,
Rockefeller? Then he was a business person, no?
yes, but again, my point is Elon Musk can sell his product to 8 billion people. How many people could Cornelius Vanderbilt sell to? It wasn't
Yeah,
8 billion people in the world. He made a
right.
lot of money on a small number of people.
Yeah, but those are also you can't compare that. Comparing apples and oranges.
And that's what I'm saying. It's
The
statistics. You
time
always
split. You're selling different things to different people and everything. So
exactly. But I'm telling you, in that time, in that space, there was nobody richer than Vanderbilt.
wait, when did Rockefeller live? I want to see when did Rockefeller live.
That was the Industrial Revolution.
So around Vanderbilt's time as well, because that he lived
No,
through
Vanderbilt was 100 years before that.
the
The
Industrial
original
Revolution
Vanderbilt
happened
was
in
like
like
early 1800s.
the Industrial Revolution was 18. Well, many people consider the cotton gin the first one, but let's just say 1850, and Vanderbilt died in
Yeah.
1877. And
The
Rockefeller lived
original
from
the original Vanderbilt was actually way back.
Cornelius Vanderbilt, who lived from 1794 to 1877. That's the main guy.
Yeah.
That's the first
And
guy.
he made the money in the 1820s.
About, yeah. And then, yeah, here's
So 50 years
Rockefeller.
before Rockefeller.
Rockefeller, by the way, we're comparing in today's money. So Rockefeller had more in today's money.
Because he
So
had a
he
bigger
lived from,
population as well.
yeah,
But I understand.
a little bit.
I
He lived from
understand.
1839 to 1937, and he had oil. So,
Yeah, but in 1830, but
oh,
again,
wow.
Vanderbilt did not have oil, and he made the money before the population growth and before oil. So his money making opportunities were quite restricted. So when you compare that and stuff, like I'm telling you, he was the wealthiest person alive.
Oh, by the way, it's written here that Rockefeller, he spanned a period from before the Civil War through the Great Depression and witnessed the transformation of America from a largely agricultural economy to an industrial superpower. So,
Yeah, yeah.
so basically, in
So
probably 1850s, it was still agricultural, and then
yeah, that's when that flip was, and that's where already Vanderbilt made all his money. That's when his children and stuff came into play. The guy that
right.
his son that squandered everything in basically casinos and alcohol and prostitutes. And then his grandchildren came in and they again tried to rejuvenate that and try to make more money. But yeah, by then Rockefeller was dominating the family. But when the original Vanderbilt was building up that wealth, he was the wealthiest business person in America and probably in the world. And it's hard to always transpose that into modern age because of many factors. Because you could always take it from this perspective, that perspective, but that's what it comes down to. But the whole point of the story is not about how rich he was, if he was richer than Musk or not. I'm just saying he was, but then he had children and stuff.
Oh,
And
well,
now,
okay. Here's a more clear answer, by the way. Just sorry. Yes, Cornelius Vanderbilt was indeed the richest person in the world during his lifetime. Okay, that makes sense.
yeah,
Okay, all
and
right.
that's my point. That's my point. He was rich. He was number one wealthiest person in the world. Um, every time we get into these discussions about history, you know, I'm not a
No, but
history major, but I just
it
tend to
depends
win
on
on
it depends on what you're talking about.
them. Yeah,
But
and that's
he
totally
wasn't richer than Elon Musk. So, of course.
to within the boundaries of limitations that he had, he was.
Today you have boundaries of limitations as well. Just because you have
Yes,
a lot of people doesn't mean you can sell to everybody.
but you can sell to a lot more people.
Yeah, like I said, depends on what
The
you're selling.
market size in the early 1800s in the U.S. was only what 50 million people. 100 million people in the U.S. at the time. I don't
I
think
mean,
it was more than 50.
eventually
Actually.
someone is going to come along who's going to just, find a, no, not find a, just sell a really good product in 100 years, and he's going to become the richest person. Then
Of
people
course,
are going
because
to
the
have to
next
pay.
generation will have more money. Inflation accounts into that.
It
Although you
depends
can
if you
adjust for
actually
that.
have more money, because you know,
Yeah, you
I
have
don't,
a
I
bigger
don't.
market.
Is there a threshold for how much money you can actually make during your lifetime? I guess. Yeah, there is a
There is
threshold, right?
because there's a limit on the money that's available.
Yeah, of course. Of the world GDP,
Yeah.
basically. So if you own all the countries in the world and every asset in them, then yeah, you're the richest person ever.
And there's a limit to that because there's only that much money there is available.
Unless
So
an
there's
asteroid.
always that. But that's a different discussion altogether. We're talking about people that are not willing to work and then they end up like the Vanderbilts that are the richest people in the world. And 100 years later, they got nothing other than a washed out news anchor
Oh, come on.
on a crooked news network.
No, yeah, don't get into that. Yeah.
Well, they're about to close shop. So, I mean, what do you,
Are they?
yeah, they fired everybody. The only one
Oh,
that
right.
stays on is Vanderbilt. Everybody else is out.
It's the only face that they can keep. Yeah.
Yeah, Anderson Cooper is the only one that they're going to be keeping because he got the highest price tag as well because of his name. But
Mm.
he's like one of the two that are staying on CNN. And this is nothing about anything election or interference or whatever. This is just the facts. Same way Elon Musk said he was going to buy MSNBC because it's not you can't do it tomorrow, but they're about to split MSNBC from the rest of the networks, and they're going to probably want to sell it. And if he's available, if he gets enough, he probably can't buy it with his own money, but he could do an investment group that can take over MSNBC. And so and CNN is just holding on now to Anderson Cooper, Vanderbilt. He's the only one that's protected. Everybody else is. We'll see what's going to happen.
Yeah.
They have to go through a complete restructuring, and he's the only one with a solid contract. But from being the wealthiest family in the world to barely holding on at CNN, you know, just goes to show you how the
That's
family squandered everything away.
That's the 200-year split.
Yeah, now it's 200 years exactly. So we don't have to worry about 200 years later, but this is what happens with the kids in college now and stuff. I mean, this ties
Yeah,
back into it.
most of them are never going to be like Vanderbilt.
Probably nobody. You're
Not
not going to
here,
be like
no.
him either, and I'm not going to be like him either.
I don't want to be like him.
And that's the other thing is you have
Like
to have the drive for it.
anybody can be like Vanderbilt, but most people don't want to be.
Well,
Well,
again, that would be a very
okay.
complicated discussion. But no, you're limited always by certain things. However, it's all about the work ethic, and that's my point, and that's what I'm teaching you, and that's what I keep telling people on LinkedIn and everywhere else. And this is where it ties in back into the business. Is LinkedIn is the number one professional platform, and whether you're going to be selling your socks, selling your videos, selling your YouTube, selling your websites, selling whatever, you could do it on LinkedIn, and you'll connect with the right people because that's where the connections happen now. Back in the 90s, there was no LinkedIn. I had to go out and I had to meet a lot of people. And we went through the list of people I met, and so but that was all because I had to go out.
All right.
And I couldn't do it from the computer. Today, you can do it from a computer, which is amazing because you can meet the most impressive people in the world from your fingertips.
Yeah.
However, Gen Z chooses to sleep
Which reminds me,
and get a
tired.
useless college degree. What?
Which reminds me, I'm pretty exhausted.
Oh well, you should have some eggnog.
No chance.
It's empowering. And studying LinkedIn, but no, it's a great topic.
Because Freya had a thing. She said, "Did you see the comment?" And the upper one, it was a while ago. Not sure if she's still here, but
that she can hear us and stuff. Or which one are you talking about?
The parties.
Oh yeah, well I read that one before.
Okay, we read it out, or did we? I don't think we.
I read it out because I actually had it in the overlay here like that.
Oh, but
Parties pay corporations to shadow ban
Oh, I don't
content
think that.
promoting
Okay.
their position.
Okay.
Yeah, I already read that. So,
It's true. All right. Cool. All right.
but it's time for you to retire. I can tell.
Maybe I don't know if it is. I mean, I was kind of enjoying this, but it's because it's turning
No,
into a monologue of yours. So
because I'm always right, and you know I'm always right, and you hate it, and you
you know,
always try
it's
to challenge me on it, and
because
then in the end, it's kind of
it's
like
because you know more. No, but it's because because you've been through more. It's because you have more experience. It's because you're older and everything. But
comes with, comes
well,
with.
yeah. But
No, definitely.
Uh, mm,
That's why, but that's why, and again, this ties into everything. That's why in your age group of people, should be like sponges and just absorb the information that comes out of LinkedIn and professionals like me and that've been around for a long, long time.
well,
And the earlier
why don't a
absorb
lot of people do it then? Yeah.
beats the hell out of me, and that's one of the reasons why I want to be building the LinkedIn course
Hmm. Okay.
is so that they know what and where to do it and how to do it and where to be. There we go. We go back to the target. But uh, but yeah, I mean, for this, LinkedIn is the single best platform. You're not gonna get the same information on Facebook. You're not gonna get the same information even on Twitter. Twitter is trying to challenge that, but you're not gonna get that information.
Well, everybody now is
So
on TikTok and all that
that's just
place.
YouTube Shorts and TikTok is just garbage.
And most people
YouTube has
get their
quality
most people
information.
actually get their news from these places.
That's even
That's why,
sadder.
yeah, that's most young people at least. And it's like, yeah, they get their TikTok news and then they vote off of that, for example, even, which is just like,
Yeah, but I'm not talking. But I'm not even
I
talking
don't know.
about the news. I'm talking about studying. Like there's so much to learn from LinkedIn. You have to pick the right channels to learn from, of course, because you have a lot of scammers everywhere. Once you get something where it makes money and stuff, you're always gonna get the scammers. But if you can weed out the stuff, the scams, the scam crap, LinkedIn does a pretty good job in preventing that, but to minimize that. But not nobody's perfect. But let's say, how many hours do you spend in college in classes?
A week,
Yeah, a week. Let's go by weeks.
about mm, 4.5 hours. Well, oh yeah, okay, no, times
Monday, Wednesday, and
two,
Friday.
yeah,
How many hours
that's
altogether?
9 hours, 9 hours plus like 2.5, so that's 11.5 hours plus studying.
Okay. How many hours? Yeah, exactly. And how many? So 11 and a half hours a week in class.
I don't actually study too much. I'm not gonna lie to you.
But no. Wait. 11 and a half hours in class. Okay.
Mhm.
Once you get out, you're going to get a 40-hour a week job.
Yeah.
If there's not a four work day week and stuff like that. But let's say you're going to get a 40 hours a week job. So now you're spending 11 and a half hours in class. Now you're spending, how much do you spend studying on the average? Not this week, not next week, not the week before, but like on the average. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Per week.
Yeah, per week. Homeworks and the sketches that you do, that's all studying.
If you do, okay, well, I mean, that's variable then. I don't know what to tell you.
On the average.
Including that, I would say 7 hours a week, maybe, because I
So
condense it
you're
into,
at about
for
it.
example, one day or
So
something.
perfect. Perfect. So
Okay.
you're at exactly 20 hours a week.
Okay.
So a full-time student goes to a college or spends in college as much
Just
time as
saying,
in a
I'm not,
part-time job.
I'm not like others though, because I think people study more here.
Okay, but still, what do they study more? 3 hours, 4 hours more
Possibly,
a week?
possible 2 hours a day, possibly, maybe even more. Who knows?
Okay,
I don't
so they'll spend 25. So they'll spend. That's what I'm talking about. So they spend 25 hours a week in college, 11 in class, and 11, 12, whatever, 13. They'll
Okay, yeah,
spend.
whatever.
It varies. It
Okay.
varies, but yeah, let's say you're going to spend 20 hours a week in college. That's basically a part-time job.
Yeah.
And my point is take the other 20 hours, because if you would have a full-time job, which you're going to have, or not you maybe, but other people, when they leave college, they're going to have to go to work. They're going to get a full-time job. Now, with a full-time job, you also have a commute generally. So that's not
Yeah.
only the 40 hours, that's plus, let's say, a 2 hour commute every day. So there's a lot more to that than that. But anyway, let's just stick with the basic numbers. 20 hours you're in class and studying. And why don't people spend 20 hours a week on LinkedIn studying the courses, the materials, engaging and making network? Because that would constitute a full-time job.
Doesn't make you
While
money. Doesn't make you money. Just studying and engaging doesn't make you money.
how is it not making you money if you're making the connections?
That's value, but it doesn't actually bring food to the table.
But how are they making the money now?
How are they making money now? I mean, they're just studying. Like they're not. They're well. They're not. Yeah, they're not making money at all. But yeah, that's what I mean. You need to find something
So
tangible
that's what I'm
that brings
talking
you
about.
dollars. You know, not
Is you're
actual
trying to
value.
no, you're trying to prepare for a career in 4 years when you start college for a full-time job.
Yeah, right. But I mean, you can't.
And no,
Well,
no, 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 no,
you can't
no, no,
substitute a
no.
full time job with being on LinkedIn and all that stuff. You could substitute the rest of college for it, sure. Like if
The
you're
four.
in
I'm talking
college.
about the 4.
Okay.
I'm talking about the 4 years in college.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Then yeah.
4 years in college, you're spending a part-time job time studying and going to classes.
Yeah.
Well, why don't you put the other 20 hours into learning the actual business skills and making networks on LinkedIn?
Mm,
Because when you walk out, you're going to be ready to have a job.
possibly.
Doing that. Well, that's the whole point. It's hands-on experience.
Hmm. Okay.
But all you got to do is do the 40-hour work week, which most people don't not doing because they're sleeping 10 hours a day.
Right. Okay.
And that's my point. That's where they're losing a lot of money and a lot of knowledge. Because once they get out of college, what are they going to have to do?
Well, find a job, pay off the loans.
They're going to have to get on LinkedIn and start
Some
learning to
some
get a
some
job.
some do get on LinkedIn now, but it's not. I don't say it's a majority.
But do they spend the 10 to 20 hours a week on the LinkedIn?
No,
Really absorbing the
it's very
information?
no, it's passive.
What?
They're all passive.
Yeah, that's my point. Is okay. Let's make college a full time. So yeah, 20 hours in class and studying, 25, and 10 to 20 depending on the week. Of course, if you have the week of the finals, you're gonna have less time and stuff. But nobody's talking about that. But invest your 10 to 15 to 20 hours on LinkedIn, taking the courses, talking to the creators, talking to the business people that have the experience, talking to the real people, and absorbing this information and preparing yourself to enter the job market or business market in 4 years.
So you would have a mandatory like LinkedIn sessions or something like that.
I do not want to mandate anything. I just don't care. They can
Okay, but
die of
if you don't do it, then the vast
just
majority probably will not do it because they have the opportunity to do so now without mandating it, and they don't do it.
well because
You could
nobody's.
you could
But no, no, no,
They
no, no,
are.
no. See,
Yes. No, no, no. They are. They are.
who,
I
who,
always get on my student account, I always get reminders from LinkedIn that there are courses, there are something like that available that you can take and all of that stuff directly from LinkedIn, by the way, because the college has its own LinkedIn courses we've talked about before with each other. So they have these reminders, they get talked to, they have the academic services that are going to tell them that where there's a career center here when every about a year there's like career fairs and career fairs here. There's career fairs almost every single night. Well, not every single night, but you know what I'm saying. There's a lot of them everywhere. They will tell you LinkedIn, LinkedIn, LinkedIn everywhere. Here, they get it through email. and most of them not even have LinkedIn, which is not everybody. Most of them don't do it.
Yeah, I'm just saying, it's like there's a lot of information available,
Yeah.
and
It might be, but they
the
don't. They
world
don't
that-
care. They just yeah. Yeah.
yeah, and well, that's what I'm trying to point out.
Like right now, I think like, for example, I sometimes send out like these, the snaps and everything. Yeah, everybody's asleep. Nobody has even read them. Nope.
Oh, it's already 1 a.m. local time.
Oh, how terrible! How terrible!
I know,
I truly
I
feel
know,
sad.
and it's Saturday night, and it's Thanksgiving, but
Nothing
and
changes though.
Advent had
So, so
started, so
so what? So
basically,
what is Thanksgiving? So what is Christmas? Okay, sure, but
don't forget, it's
true.
already Sunday.
It's true.
It's
That is
already
okay.
Sunday.
I know. I know. I'll take one before bed. Well, no,
Yeah,
I'll take one.
take two in the morning and take two and call me in the morning.
Yeah, right. No, but what I'm saying, yeah. So what? The show goes
I,
on. I
that's,
mean, I remember having this complete switch when I was working at Hy-Vee. I worked that day on New Year's Eve, the 31st. I worked from 8 to 8, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. because I took over for a coworker who just wanted to leave. So, okay, cool. But the thing is, it was like, then I went to the friend's house, and I was just like, I told you that. I don't know if you remember, my head was really like aching and everything. So, you know, just took some whatever aspirin or something like that. I don't know. And just tried to take a little nap for an hour till just before New Year's or midnight. Woke up at 3 a.m. Saw the clock. It was like, oh, okay, cool. Happy New Year. Went to bed. Next day began the same way. Just went to work, and that was it, because it just doesn't change.
because I keep kicking you in the butt the whole time. That's why I'm here,
Okay, cool.
to make you realize that, and not everybody's so fortunate as to have somebody kick their ass every day.
Most of them are not. I mean, I don't think so, because most parents see like, oh yeah, my son, daughter's an athlete or whatever. That's like,
Yeah, Wayne Gretzky and
what does that accomplish?
nothing.
Unless they're going professional, which, let's be honest, and I'm respectful to my roommate or whatever. Most of them are not. Not even probably not my roommate is, because he's not like, just you have to be the top of the top at this level to be like considered
It's like
for high.
0.0015% that gets into the
Yeah,
professional league.
to NFL, or even like those Illinois State or whatever. Not Illinois
Yeah,
State, whatever.
whatever.
Yeah, Champaign. Forgot what that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, so but most of them are not. Most of them are not working. Most of them don't care. It's like, oh yeah, my roommate told me, oh yeah, I worked before. He works, sure, but when football comes in, he doesn't. So I'm like, you can still balance it, because he doesn't have. I don't think he has almost any classes. Like, I forgot what the days are. He has no. He has only one class: Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So the rest is football, sure, but like in between that class and maybe football or something, he could fit at least a couple of hours of work, or LinkedIn engagement, or building something. But he told me,
Learning, taking the
he
courses.
was honest with me. He told me, yeah, I don't have any like specialties or aspects of whatever or something. His only specialty is football. So a lot of people don't have these, like like I have, like video editing or something like that. Or he
Yeah,
could get a CDL if that's not a bad job either. A lot of people, like, it's just hard work and it's long hours, sure, like commercial driving, but still pretty good. I mean, I'd enjoy it. Not a lot of people are into it, but he could get it. I think he likes it. So like that stuff. He's probably gonna end up like a farmer or something like that. Who knows?
and there's nothing wrong with that either.
Well, yeah,
It's
of course, yeah. Even farmers, like, yeah, they make a lot of money, and of course, but it's just a different lifestyle, and it doesn't. It's yeah.
And guess what? Different lifestyle, meaning you have to get up at 4 or 5 in the morning because the animals want to eat.
Which is going to be really tough for a lot of people.
It's not easy. Yeah, it's not. No, no matter what, at 22, the 10 to 12 hours of sleep a day ends.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. God. There we go.
Mm. I was going to high school and I cleaned up for 14 horses before, in Staten Island before I went to class.
I've heard that.
I know you did. I'm saying it on LinkedIn now so that other people know.
Yeah.
I did 20 miles on bike, went to clean up the stalls, the horse barn, and then went to class.
Right.
In the afternoon, it was soccer practice, gym, video games, and homework. I usually didn't have to do homework because I only went to class twice a week.
Twice a week.
Yeah, I wasn't a big high school guy. They saw me there occasionally. I just didn't want to go every day. It just high school seemed to be too time consuming.
Right. What about absences? Nobody cared.
Well, no, you get a late pass. That way, you're not absent.
But you showed up. You have to stay in class to.
No, you have to walk in and get the late pass at the front door.
So teachers didn't take attendance.
Yes, they did. But how
Okay.
can you be absent if you have a late pass?
So you just got a late pass and left.
Yeah.
So you just told them it was like, oh yeah, I have a late pass. So they were like, oh yeah,
No, the system told me you get a late pass. That means I was in. The rest of it didn't matter.
So even if the teachers marked you absent, that
Yeah, the
it
late
didn't
pass
matter.
overrode. Yeah, late pass
Oh,
overrides everything because I had to show up to
that
get the
is
late pass.
stupid.
No,
That
that
is
means I
stupid.
couldn't be absent for the whole
What
day.
type of system is that? Those are like the really early computer days, huh?
Yeah, well,
Nobody,
you
somebody
play
didn't know how to program.
you play the game. They set the
Yeah.
rules. You play the game. You find the shortcuts.
Wondering how many people are watching, but probably nobody. Not surprised.
Nobody, but even if they were good, what are they gonna do to me now? What are they gonna take away my high school diploma?
Yeah, yeah, they are. In big trouble.
Oh yeah, sure. Still got
All
a
right.
3.9 GPA in my first semester in college. Then left because it was too boring. You gotta play the game. Just find out the rules and play the game.
All right.
You have to know when to break the rules.
How long? How much longer are you going to be live for?
2 hours and 17 minutes.
So 40 more minutes or something?
I don't know. Do I want to break 2:44 or do I want to go below that? Well,
Break it.
first, the first thing is, well, the thing is, I have to wake up in the morning. Well, it's going to be cold, so I don't really feel like going out early. But
Well, so you can stream for longer and then go to bed for longer.
yeah,
Right.
well, this is the amount of eggnog I have left.
Then it turns to beer again, huh?
I have to go back to beer or just straight out rum.
Okay. Good
Eggnog
luck.
was fun, but there's plenty of rum left.
Yeah,
We'll see. Are you retiring?
probably. Yeah.
Oh, I have to retire to bed. Hey,
No, I mean, like I
yeah,
said,
yeah.
most people are not awake. Most of my friends, most of the people I know are not awake right now. So at 1 a.m. on a Saturday night or Sunday morning.
Is your butler coming soon
Yeah, right.
to tuck you in like
I,
trading
I
places?
I wish. I wish I didn't
Sure.
have to open my door handles.
Sir, your breakfast.
Yeah. Maybe one day, but even one day, even if I'm rich beyond my wildest dreams, then I'll still probably find some. Still works like
This
a
is
charm.
crazy.
And yeah, I'll still be working some sort of a job. How's that gonna go? Yeah. You have to release it. Yeah, there you go.
We got to get it to the target.
Yeah. Whatever. No, yeah. So
Because this way it follows me, I think. See?
I'll always be opening my door handles. I won't be letting anybody do that for me.
I mean, I had my own driver back in the 90s that was driving me around so I could go from
Alright.
pub to pub.
Okay. Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
little different again. Yep. All right. Well,
But then
yeah,
at the end of the day, the drivers stop listening to you, start ordering you around no matter what. We had a couple. It always ended up the same way. Like you're paying him full time, and he's like, "Well, I really have to take care of this today. So can you move that meeting to 10 o'clock?" I'm like, "I don't think so." But they always do that.
all right. I'm going.
You didn't even have any eggnog with me. Well,
Well,
actually, I still have this eggnog.
good luck. I'll bring you some more.
That's for next week for Advent number 2. Well, I want to make this.
So what? Every Saturday you're not going to drink eggnog.
Well, in the Advent time, it's appropriate.
It's kind of gets boring, You have to switch it up a little bit. Maybe instead of rum,
No,
you could try tequila or vodka in there.
Well, problem is it's not really a Christmas drink unless you're Mexican, maybe, or something. I don't know.
I mean, you can switch it up. It's just like about switching it up.
Hey,
whiskey,
Eddie.
yeah.
Hey, Eddie. Want some more eggnog? Can I drive
Yeah.
you someplace in the middle of nowhere? Leave you for dead?
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going.
Can you spin that wheel there?
No. So have a good night. Have a great rest of your night. That's a great rest of your stream, and thank you for having me on.
Well, thank you as well. And yeah, I'm just stirring up my last eggnog. But no, glad we had this conversation, and I think it's important for people to know if anybody ever listens to this. Hey, the word may get out eventually, and people
Maybe
need
the stream, retrospectively will get 1,000,000 views. Who
Well,
knows?
that's why you put it out there. That's why you put out the content, and nobody may watch it today, but they'll watch it 6 months from now, and
Or in 10 years.
kind of like the video that we did for about the Google Business Profile, and how to verify it, and 6 months later, or 8 months later, YouTube picks it up and sends it flying.
Yeah.
Who knows? But you put out content, you stay out there, you stay relevant, you help people do what you need to do and what they need to get accomplished, and keep building them relationships through Zoom calls, right?
Oh yeah, of course.
No, where did you get your first job? Your first video editing job?
Well, client, yeah. I mean,
Well, your first video
I got
editing
it
job.
from the Good Business Karma Network. So
But
business networking,
yeah,
meeting with individual people, being there every day, every time they met.
every meeting or whatever, then setting up other meetings
Private meetings to get to know the people better one-to-one. Now I'm sending out messages to people in my network if they want to get a 15-minute one-on-one to get to know each other better or something like that. So yeah.
As long as you keep your channel alive and as long as you keep meeting people and not sleeping all day, then
that might change a little tomorrow. What?
What will change? You're gonna spend more time indoors?
No, I mean my roommate's coming back in the evening, so I'll have to get up.
But he's not gonna bother.
Freya just popped in.
Yep.
Again,
But he's not gonna bother. He's gonna come and he's gonna go to sleep, so he'll be all right.
Nah, we're probably gonna watch something together because he always watched like a show together or two. But no, so
before bedtime.
Well, yeah. What are you laughing at? Before his bedtime. He goes to bed at like 11 midnight.
Or you go to bed at 12:20.
Either this or this.
Well, you know,
almost every night now.
yeah, Freya clearly doesn't have a life.
Ah,
We don't either, Freya. Don't worry about it.
that's why we're on here right now.
Yep. You know, I mean, it's a Saturday at 1:25. Normally, I'd be in a club with Hadaway, but hey, now I'm just here on Zoom or LinkedIn Live.
It's true. Yeah.
But,
So no, I was saying something. Forgot. Forgot what it was. No, I was just like, no, I need to get up early tomorrow because I have to record the videos for the client. Like I said, start recording because then my roommate is going to be in here and I can't, use the green screen or whatever. So yeah. And it's
you
also,
just
and it's
put it
also,
over.
I have to catch the sunrise and the sun and the light.
And you could just put the green screen over your roommate. And it's gonna be fine. He'll be sleeping under that.
Yeah, right. I'll be recording right over. Yeah. Right. Okay. Well,
Is that it for you?
yeah, it is. Truly. So yeah. Well, have a good night.
Well, you have a good night. I'm gonna stay on for a little bit longer, talk about some more stuff.
Go for 4.
I don't think so. I think that's too long because
Come on.
what is four? It's
You said
another
a
hour and a
marathon.
half.
A marathon is always at least 4 hours. Come on.
No, it's not. The fastest marathon is 2 hours. Come on.
I mean, it depends. I mean, okay, it depends. Depends.
Well, let's go to the videotape again. Fastest.
If you're saying fastest, if you're saying I'm saying average.
Fastest marathon is Kelvin Kiptum with a time of 2:00:35.
2 hours and 35 seconds. Okay.
Yep.
What about that? The average. That's the fastest. Say the average marathon speed.
4:29.
Ta-da.
4:29. But I run only with the best.
Go for 4 hours. No. You go for 4 hours, then you're going to be in the
No,
higher level. Not higher average.
no, because I would have to wake up at again. That would be three
You do,
o'clock.
but you say you don't have to go anywhere. So what?
Well, I don't
Yeah.
have to go, but I don't have to go. But how long can I keep on drinking?
It depends. Anyways, I'm going. Freya's getting bored
mean,
probably from us talking like this. Talk
I'll
of
have.
something with substance.
No, this is substance because
That's not
I have
substance.
only three more
Talking
Pilsner
about
Urquell.
anal
I have
BS.
2 Boston Lagers. Once I finish those in about an hour, if I keep drinking, then I still have a half hour left. I would have to go, and then by then, actually, I have another. I think only another. I don't know. Forget what is it in? How long? How late can you buy beer in normal? Is it 2 o'clock? I
One
only
is
have
shorter.
31
One
minutes
is
to.
shorter than the other. I know Bloomington. I believe it.
It's shorter. Bloomington is 1, and normal is 2,
I think.
or maybe 3.
Yeah. I don't know.
But still, there's time limit on when you can buy beer, which is like the craziest. But anyway, that's a
Well,
different topic.
North Carolina was even better, but let's not get into that.
No, 2 o'clock.
Or you can.
North
Well, you
Carolina.
haven't talked about the topic you say you're going to talk about, which is religion. Now you can get into that.
I talked about it before. I started off with religion. You didn't. You
Started
weren't
off.
listening because you were still playing games. Yeah, because I said it's the first Advent Sunday.
Okay, Advent Sunday, but you didn't get into the whole detail, but you just started with it. Okay, that's what I meant. So
I started with it, and I said what I believe, and I said I believe respect religions, and I didn't get into very much of a detail because I don't want this to be a philosophical or
well, it's supposed to
theological.
be kind of philosophical. No, it's like a. What are we talking about now?
Look, I'm a deep believing Christian with a Santa hat. All right. I mean, come on. Santa hat has nothing to do with religion.
It does for some people.
No, Santa Claus is not religious. How do we end this? There you go. At least this. We'll keep it on the group. But no, Santa Claus is not a religious figure. He was saint.
Santa Claus's
Yes.
origins are rooted in Christianity, and his image is based on the traditions of Saint Nicholas, who was a Christian saint.
Well, that is still up for debate.
What's up for debate?
Because some of them say it was a Swiss monk living in the mountains. It was not really a saint. He was just there. There's a lot of stories. It's kind of like the story of Excalibur and, you know, King Arthur.
Hmm.
There are still a lot of.
All right, that's enough. I'm done. You can get into that without me. That's something of
No, I really,
substance, and that's something interesting that people might enjoy.
I don't know if business people will enjoy talk about
Doesn't matter. It's not about. It's today.
mythology.
Tonight's not about business. That's the problem.
Well, you always want to tie it back into business in some sort of way.
Why?
Anyway,
Why does everyone have to be a business night?
because we do business at 3 o'clock in the morning, and
On a Saturday? Well, Sunday.
well, that's when we closed the deals for 740 Boys licensing for Czech Republic. It was a big long Friday night at 6 p.m. We started drinking, and by midnight we had it all figured out.
Yeah, that's a different thing though.
No,
Tonight,
it's still business.
you're not doing business anymore though. Not too much.
Oh, wait a second, wait a second.
You're
So, am I
leaving that
doing
to me.
business or am I not doing business now?
You're leaving that to me.
Am I doing business or am I not doing business here? I mean,
I mean, you're
everything
talking.
is
We're
business.
talking about college and all that stuff.
That's not business.
College is well, depends on how you take it. College is a place of study.
How many CEOs without a college degree do you know?
Without one, Mark Zuckerberg. Ooh,
How
ooh.
many do you know?
Well, I told you, Mark Zuckerberg.
No, how many? It's not like name one.
Couple. There's more. There's definitely more.
Yes, there's more. How
You
many
can
do you
search up.
know? How many do you know?
The most prominent one being Mark Zuckerberg. I can search up more.
Yeah. And how many have a college degree? Way more. So college definitely is business.
Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, Larry Ellison, Michael Dell, Larry Page, Jack Dorsey. None of them had college degrees or dropped out.
Why did they drop out?
They decided business was the other way. They decided business was better for them or something. They just had a great idea and they dropped out and they made something of that idea.
They all have one thing in common.
Yeah.
They went to college to get venture capital.
Okay.
So that's business. College is business. They don't have a college degree, but they went to college to get the business, to get the venture capital. And it goes back to what I was saying before. The degree may not be the most important. It's nice to have, but if Mark Zuckerberg didn't go to college, he wouldn't get the venture capital. Might have not. But he made his contact while he was in Stanford.
University. It was in Harvard. Yeah.
What?
Harvard.
He dropped out of Stanford, no?
No, Zuckerberg was a Harvard dropout.
Oh. I thought it was Stanford, but whatever.
Whatever. Good night. I mean that.
Okay. That's what you say.
Yeah.
A-OK, USA.
Yeah. Bye bye. Good night.
Have a good night.
Good
Say
night.
goodbye, everybody.
Enjoy the rest of your stream. Good night.
Well, I'm going to go to break because they need a potty break and a refill
Okay.
break, and I'm all out of eggnog.
It's up to you. Have a good night.
Bye-bye. Good night.
Bye.
I'm shutting you off.
Yep.
There you go. And you're gone. Boom. Well, now that he's gone, we can start the party. No, I think it was very educational. I think this was. I had other things planned as well, but I think I'm gonna focus that on the target here, and I can't just be drinking because otherwise, as soon as I take a sip, the video camera is gone. Uh, uh, tu- 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 tu. Hide the overlay, and so here I am, all by myself again. I wonder why. Why is it? Okay. Anyway, gonna go refill, clean up my desk, and I'll continue with a final closing beer, I guess, in about 2 minutes or so. And yeah, we'll do that. Take a 2 minute break. We'll be right back after these no messages. And we're back from the messages. And I'm going to try to see if my mic is working. Well, that's not the default, but I'm going to go S, and we're working. So, can everybody hear me? Yes, we can. Okay, good. Thank you for the response. And I'm going to check this out. Yes, everybody can hear me. So, I'm just going to put the mic closer to me. And yeah, I hope. Well, thank you to my son for showing up, because I think that discussion was something that more people need to hear, especially college students. I mean, I'm not a big believer in college, but I'm a big believer in education, and I'm a big believer in getting the right information, having access to information, and I think that discussion and perspective from somebody who's 19 is pretty good. And I think when you lay out the numbers and the map and stuff, it's quite interesting what you come up with. And I wish more people were being educated on this more often. But that's not where we're at, and that's not where the world is at. And sorry to say, but we're gonna end up. This is the group. This is follow me mode. And still a little delayed here. I can hear it go through, but anyway, let's see. Try to see if my mic is working. Oh, I started the default. It's working. So yeah, it's working now. Well, and it's got no background noise because the camera just. So yeah, I can hear it. I can do this, and we're good. But what else did I want to look at? Let me look at some LinkedIn stuff because I know I did. Oh yes, social media reacts to us age limit. That was a big topic as well of this week. I think all these limits are just the government showing that they're doing something, but it really has no impact. One other live event 2 hours ago. I forget now which one's what I was doing, but yeah, as we were talking with my son, I think we covered it all basically. I mean, most of the stuff that I really wanted to talk about, and I was like, got to the 1% of SSI. I got to I got a bunch of Zoom meetings lined up. I mean, my calendar's pretty full for next week. I had great meetings with some people, and yeah, working on the LinkedIn course and working on websites. Currently I'm working on a project for a website for military boots. I got to set up a meeting for that for next week, and I'm just pouring myself my final beer, I think, and it's almost there. Something to wash the eggnog with. Authenticity. Authenticity. That was a topic of this week too, because I've seen a lot of, especially the big creators. I've seen them saying, "Well, don't be using those LinkedIn, LinkedIn. Don't be using the AI comments." And I'm like, basically saying stop, say no to LinkedIn comments. AI comments is like saying no to LinkedIn because LinkedIn offers as a perk and with their paid subscription, and people use it because it's given to them to use. So people are surprised, like, why are they using it? Well, because they get it for free and they are told to use it, so they use it. especially for somebody who doesn't speak English that well. They, of course, will always take advantage of it and will use it to feel like to make themselves feel like they're doing a much better job. But in reality, they're really not. But it's not authentic, but it works. It just gets the engagement. So the question is whether you're chasing the empty, vague vanity numbers or whether you're really trying to build a network and exchanging a few messages. Like I've been teaching my son, build that network, have a beer. By far, definitely the best beer. Eggnog is good. It's a Christmas spirit thing, but it's not something I want to drink every day. It's at the level of Bailey's, which is something I never really used to like to drink. But yeah, I mean, you see my son, you see what I'm teaching him, and it's about youth forward, as they always say. And that's a topic that actually the movie The Substance was about, and there was a lot of stuff to think about, a lot of principles to ponder, and me being over 50 now, I take on a role well. I mean, I still like to have my fun, and I don't feel like I'm aging that fast, but reality is, you don't stop aging, and like my son says, I always beat him in most of the knowledge and kind of the challenges he throws out, like, oh, I have all the knowledge. I'm like, no, I kind of remember still this stuff, and he doesn't like me for that a lot because I win most of the arguments. Not all of them, of course, because his mind is fresh with some of that stuff, but I do win quite a few, and yeah, I'm proud of that. So yeah, we always have our challenges and discussions, and you've seen some of them, and yeah, generally I win. But it's that's the whole disadvantage of today of a lot of the youth is the young kids today is, and it's not their fault per se. It's society has been grooming them, and that's the word I was looking for. Has been grooming them into that, is because once upon a time, before I was listening to a great podcast that was recommended to me today, and it's the only other one that I really listen to is whatever was recommended, and one that I'm trying to go through, and not all the episodes, but try to select the ones that are of interest to me. Is the Bowery Boys podcast. It talks about history of the United States, the world, in relation to New York and stuff, but they get into a lot of other off topics. And today I was talking about the telephone and stuff. And once upon a time, there was no way to contact people across the water other than going over there and sending a message or sending a ground piece of mail. And today is, and that's what I'm getting at. Why I'm tying it into this is today the kids, the youngest generation, they don't even have to go to get a book from the library. They go on the phone and they find it there. So that's a tough one. And they need food, and they go order it. You know, Uber and DoorDash brings it to them, and they're fed. And same thing with newspapers, television. You used to have to go to somebody's house to watch TV. I mean, when I was young, that wasn't the case because everybody had TVs. But for example, the pay-per-view fights, only one person got it. Everybody met over at that house. Today, everybody buys the pay-per-view because it's like now the type fight. It was on Netflix, and whoever paid for Netflix has Jake the Fake Paul fights, all of them. So everybody just sits at home and watches it. You don't have to go get the newspaper. You don't have to go to the library. You don't have to do anything. So the world is catered now to the youngest generation, and they really don't see a point of going out. Although I see the tide turning now, where a lot of people are seeking that personal connection, not just AI talking to AI. There's a lot of it that a lot of people are just looking forward to talking to somebody. That's why there's so many Zoom meetings I can set up now, because if you're looking to build a business and not just sell trinkets, you're gonna need those relationships. And usually you used to build those over a beer, but people don't go drinking beer as much today. So the basic way to get into a business or something or any kind of relationship is through an online world. But that online world again should be used just to get to that personalized meeting. So I don't know, and more and more people are seeking that. The tide is turning. It used to be where people just oh yeah, we have everything online, it's all good. But there was even studies done that Zoom calls are not as productive as one-on-ones in person, is because your brain, when you're in close proximity to the other person you're talking to, your brain waves are more active because you feel each other's chemistry and the uh, the rhythm, the biological feedback and stuff. So it's uh, it's important to see people in person. Yes. 142. Yeah, it was 10 minutes ago. I see that was a comment from Freya again. And yes, Freya is yeah. I When I was in high school, I didn't even have lunch. I didn't go to lunch because I just went to the library and I spent the lunch hour I spent in libraries to study stuff I wanted to read and learn. And generally that was Encyclopedia Britannica. But I hate going to classes. Always did, always will. And that's why I'm not employed, is because I can't stand in the job, and I can't stand sitting in a class, people telling me what to do. So cheers to that, Freya. But yeah, it's quite interesting, and my LinkedIn journey has been quite interesting as well. Achieving the 1% is that's sort of my one of my biggest problems actually is once I crack, quote unquote, once I crack the algorithm, I kind of get bored. Once I get bored, I jump onto another thing. And that's why I set a goal for myself to stay on LinkedIn until I hit 10,000 at least. Well, this year I want to hit it, but that didn't happen. It's not going to happen because I'm not doing the stuff that I feel I need to be doing to stay on the 10,000 trail so soon. I talked about it. I talk about it all the time, so I'm not getting into the details, but generally, um, once I understand the algorithm, once I understand how it works, and I just have to do the repetitive stuff, I get bored because I already discovered the key to getting this stuff done, and basically, the heck with it after that. Because once I know how to do it, I want to understand something new. So I keep learning and learning and learning and learning, and that's my life's goal, just to keep learning stuff. And LinkedIn is the other than the Facebook group I built to 10,000 is again, it was because I was supporting the betting counseling or advisory project. But and for that again, I used to grow that. I made a contract with one of the biggest betting agencies in Czech Republic, and they were supplying me contest points. So I made a contest every month. Who leaves the most comments will get, let's say, $20 free bets, $50 free bets, and stuff like that. So I always did some math. I studied the statistics, tracked it, followed it, and at the end of the month, I said, "Yeah, the winner is," and they gave me their registration email at that betting agency, and the betting agency, I sent the names and emails, and they credited them the money so they could play and bet. And yeah, that's how you build a group if sustainably. You always have to have something to give back to the people. So that's what I did with I used that to grow, other than my contacts and connections and people in sports that I'm talking to. There's always have to be that offline element, and then it got to the point where I got to 10,000 or so, like over 9,000. I used to go to stores and they were like, "Oh, you're the guy that does the betting group," and I'm like, "Yep, that's me." He's like, "Yeah, I'm part of that, and I love what you do and all this, and your tips are great." And that's the point where people start to get to know you on the street and stuff. This was in Czech Republic 10 years ago, but I'm like, I don't want people recognizing me. I don't like being a public figure. That's why I don't even understand why I'm doing these live shows, because anybody can see me there, and I like to keep it to myself. I like to keep myself to myself, and and that's it. But I always somehow ran into people that put me on TV. They put me on radio. They put me on this, that, the other thing. I mean, one of the bands I was translating for was Manowar, and all of a sudden I'm on the radio with them. I'm like, oh shoot, I'm here on the radio translating into the radio station for Manowar. So it's cool guys, good band, and just the same way, all of a sudden, people say, "Oh, hey, listen, we're organizing these concerts here, and we just need somebody to translate and stuff." And I was like, "All right, yeah, I'll be there, no problem. I'll take it as a job. It's fun. It's whatever, organizing." And then next thing I know, I'm talking to the whole management team of David Copperfield, because that's the show that they needed help with, and because of my experience and language skills and stuff, and knowing the habits, I was just out there with people, so I got to meet the entire David Copperfield ensemble at the time, 2008, 9, something like that. Anyway, so point is, be out there, talk to people. Just posting on LinkedIn, like sort of posting and ghosting. Although I do that a lot myself, is post and ghost. But I don't ghost where I never come back. I just post, then I do my other stuff that I need to do, and then I come back and I make the time to connect and to send get to know links for Zoom meetings and keep building it. I mean, my network keeps growing all the time, and it's not through these voodoo ceremonies. I'll post every morning at the same time. Yeah, like tomorrow morning, I'm not gonna post at 8 o'clock. Same way I didn't post today at 6, because why should I be posting at 6 o'clock if I know I'm gonna be doing something at night like this live show? That's a post. I still do have something prepared for Sunday's deep thought, but am I gonna put it out? Am I not? I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I try not to stick to any schedule, and to have and those people like, well, I always schedule my post 1 week ahead of time. Well, are you doing it because you're forced to do it, or are you doing it because you enjoy it and you just want to be out there and stuff? Because I never schedule my posts. I mean, not never say never. I mean, of course, there's times I schedule posts, but is it worth it? I don't think so. I think it's just much better just to go. I have a topic that I follow the most, or that I post the most about, which is websites. But if I feel like I want to post about something else, I'll post about something else. A lot of it is LinkedIn, of course, but like I wasn't planning on talking about college the whole time tonight. I have plenty of other things. I want to talk about personal stuff. I want to talk about some of the music relationships that I have, some of the TV. Started off talking about movies. Even some we touched up. I touched up a religion. I'm not, but hey, somehow it comes out, and then you start saying what you need to say. And my son was like, "Well, when I come on, what should we talk about?" I was like, "It's a freestyle improv, and I want you to come on when you feel like you have something to say." And I started talking about Gen Zs, and that was his time. Originally, he told me he wanted to come on when I was talking about when I'm going to be talking about his video about the one that he failed with due to the election thing. But I'm like, no, I don't want this planned. I don't want. So that's why I put it on. I saw him coming in. First, I had to send him the link stuff. But I just want it to be natural. Do people care? Do people like it this way or not? Hey, I don't know. I'm testing this out. If somebody tells me exactly what they like, I can create it exactly the way they like it. But generally, there's so many people out there. Somebody will like it, somebody will not. So what? Next. Said that back in the 90s, and we'll say that again. Some will, some won't. So what? Next. Past the 3 hour mark. Cheers to that. But the thing is it wasn't all me, so it wasn't a monologue. Although my son felt like it was, but he helped out a lot. And he's my son. I love him. And I will help him do whatever he needs to do. But he needs to leave that sleeping generation. And the separation from the sleeping generation is very, very, very hard. Because, and I would just say that again, they just don't have a reason to get out of bed in the morning. They can even make money online. Hey, you post a couple of videos, you make money. You don't have to go out to make money. My friends in New York, me and my friends, we had a saying. It's like, if I can't make at least a 50 or $100 this day, I don't need to get out of bed. But they can make the $100 without getting out of bed. So that's how bad it's getting. But yeah, so I think that's enough eggnog and Pilsner Urquell for the night. And still have to come up with a topic for Friday. And I have to come up with a topic for my son has to come up with a topic for Tuesday. And then we'll see how the numbers are today, if this was more boring or not. Usually the first time around it's exciting. Then it starts to get boring before it gets exciting again. It's that sinusoid again. Like you start something. Oh, stop with the Zoom. There we go. Woo, we go closer, we go farther away. It's crazy. And one more time. There we go. And then, so let's see if it copies it again. Well, the sinusoid goes like, you do something once, a lot of people come up. Oh yeah, it's new, it's something. Then it goes down a little bit because the second time, well, it's the same old guys. And then it's kind of like, then the growth starts going slow, starts sort of taking off. It's always that first excitement, goes down some, and then it just keeps growing slowly, and it keeps growing as long as you stay consistent. But always, it's like the first time around, it's kind of like, oh yeah, this is exciting, this is new stuff, wow, this is. So a lot of people jump on board because people love new stuff, and then they get off the train, and then some will come back as they see you being consistent. That's where consistency comes in. That's just human psychology. Is people love new stuff. They don't care once it gets too redundant, and then like, oh, he's still doing it. I guess there's something to that, and he's getting more and more followers, and let's listen to it. So just stick with it. Whatever you're gonna do, whatever message you're gonna send out, stick with it. Keep repeating it. Stay consistent. And 2:04 a.m. right now for me. So I'm done. I'm out of here. I'm gonna brush my teeth and go straight to bed. Ho ho ho. See you maybe next week. See if I can hit 0.5%. Have a great night. Thank you for spending it with me. Or if you spend it later, if you watch this on a rerun, thank you for watching. Have a great night, great day.